probably wouldn't change. So deep and I'm still falling for you. But then you say what I wanna hear, 'cause you know it's gonna get me here every time I say that I'm through. And even though I know it ain't right, said I wasn't gonna spend the night, here I am right back with you. Although I lost you, I'll always want you. I'll always want you. 'Cause you take me high. See, I'll always want you, but I know I've lost you.
I'd been searching for a long time for someone to be for all time, then came you. I found you. I know some people go a lifetime and they never found what I have found in you. It was always you. It's just the way you get me. I only have to be me. You still love me completely. So glad I found you. I just love being around you. My feet lift off the ground with you. I'm so glad I found you. I had given up on searching, tried love, but it wasn't working until you. Till I found you. Now baby, I'm just optimistic. I want everyone to have it like I do, the way I have you. Ooh. It's just the way you get me. I only have to be me. You still love me completely. So glad I found you. I just love being around you. My feet lift off the ground with you. I'm so glad I found you. Ooh. It's just that love seems so old-fashioned, like it was just a passing phase. I couldn't imagine finding love like you. You made me a believer. I can't even believe we're here, but I want it forever. I'd been waiting for a long time for someone to be for all time, then came you. I found you.
Are you ready for some football? It's time for the pregame. Let's kick off the pregame for the Millwood High School football broadcast. It's only on Heart and Soul 92.1 and 1140.
Good evening from the Good House on the campus of Millwood High School. It's Millwood Falcons playoff football presented by SSM Health at St. Anthony's and the Millwood Enrichment Foundation. The Falcons finished the regular season 9-1 overall and undefeated in district play 7-0. The Falcons won their 7th consecutive game last week as they beat the Perry Maroons 6-0. Now that was a good old sloppy, rainy, just football slugfest if you like those type of games. Now, again, the Falcons won that by 6-0. Now the Falcons must end that version of the season and now turn their attention to the postseason with the goal of winning the Class 2A1 football championships. Now the Falcons will need to be focused and ready to engage tonight. Now we are in that playoff mode of survive and advance in this stage of the season where every play, every tackle, and every possession matters. So tonight, the Falcons must be focused as they take on the Crossing Christian Knights. They finished the regular season 5-4 overall. To end the regular season, they shut out Dixon 41-0 last week. This is a team that had to fight to get in. So don't let their record fool you. This is a well-coached football team that has played a tough schedule and is capable of beating anyone. It was 2 years ago in 2021. This same team came over to LW Good Football Stadium and beat the Falcons. Expect both teams to be ready to play tonight. Welcome to Falcon Pregame, sponsored by SSM Health at St. Anthony. SSM Hospitals are our proud sponsor of Millwood Public Schools. Sometimes after a hard-fought game, a player needs the services of a sports medicine specialist, and at SSM Health Hospitals has a great team to get a player back in the game from injury. I'm Maurice Prince, and I'm joined and honored to have with him. He doesn't get a chance to do this full-time, folks, but he's fully capable. He is always motivated, he is spiritually balanced, and he's always ready to talk sports at any given time. Director of Operation, A. Shannon Hayes, is with me this evening. Good evening, Coach.
Hey, thank you, Mo, man. Appreciative and going to have an opportunity to be here. So excited about it. So
it's always a lot of fun. So let me just ask you, just talk sports for just a moment, if you don't mind. Okay. What has to be different when you transition from a regular season to a playoff game?
Well, the difference is that you either win or you go home. I mean, you know, it's either getting ready for basketball season or having another week to be able to participate in an Oscar gold ball. So,
well, and the mentality of a player, does it put more pressure on them, or as a coach, do you tell your guys now it's all lock in, there's no plays off? I mean, is that kind of how that goes in your opinion?
Well, you know, you hope that you're playing as you process through the season. You hope that you're already in that mode. By game 10, you're either in or you're not. I mean, you're going to pretty much peak at where you should be. You should have had opportunities to see where you need to work on, what does work. I mean, you have all those type of tendencies and data to where you can say, all right, based off of that, what can we continue to hang our hats on to ensure that we keep moving on week after week?
In a playoff game scenario, there's a lot of things some coaches put weight on in terms of technique, making sure all those things are mastered, as you already said. By game 10, either you're in or you're out. But how about this particular point in particular? Let me ask you this, how important is it to get into a good start on a playoff game as in any other game? You face adversity, but you don't want to always shoot yourself in the foot.
Well, I think with Millwood, there's a tradition. There's a tradition that, anytime you play Millwood, they're going to have athleticism. They're going to have speed. I mean, and so you have to be able to come out and basically keep that fear going. So, I mean, that's when you come out and you be aggressive. You punch them in the mouth. You allow them to understand, hey, we are who we are. Because you give them any little bit of momentum or any little bit of thing like that, and then they're going to capitalize on that. And then the game could end up being something where it could change altogether.
Right, and I think it's important to note in that any game at any given time can change, and you want to be at your best so you don't have that one call that cost you, that one scenario or that one possession where that thing cost you the game. And I think that's the part that's emphasized more in playoff scenarios than in regular season games.
Absolutely. And then, you're putting your best foot forward, well, you should do every night. But it's in terms of, based off of what you've seen film-wise, that you've done the scouting report from the team you're playing. And so you're hoping that different schemes, different blocking sets, defensive sets can be able to counteract to where you get the advantage.
Absolutely. And as we get ready for tonight's contest, you said something that I think is going to resonate with a lot of the Falcon base that always tunes into this broadcast. You said it's a tradition. In other words, the Falcons have an expectation, and we always talk about that, an expectation. So in other words, getting here isn't the surprise.
Correct.
So this is a part of the journey toward the goal.
Exactly.
And I think that resonates.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, you've gone to the state championship 2 years in a row. So if you don't get there again, it's a disappointing season. And the simple fact is, if you don't win, it's a disappointing season.
Right.
The sad part. But, where other people will be amazed just to be able to be the top two teams in the state of Oklahoma.
Right.
And up until this year, it was out of 64 teams. And now, we're down to 32. But you've got some really good teams on this top bracket. And so it's like if you don't win a championship, it's like it's a disappointing season.
And it's crazy saying that, but that's when the bar is set high and there's expectations at a program and there's talent in the program. That comes with it. That's all part of the journey. So I think, you have to either understand that's what is what is expected when you put on the jersey,
Yeah.
when you step on the court, on the field, or the diamond, all those things. It's not just football. All the programs here have a level driving for that type of success.
It does. And that's the thing. I mean, coming to Millwood, 23 years ago, I was just, because my family grew up here in this program, and so I just was amazed to have an opportunity and experience it. And it's like, every time, nothing amazes me. I'm just still excited about the kids and what they can do, and just helping them to understand what they can and be appreciative of it. And I think that's probably the one thing I always tell coaches, man, just help our kids appreciate what they've been blessed to be able to do.
I think that's very, very, very powerful. The field is in great condition. Game time temperature should be around 58 degrees. It will fall into the lower 50s by the time the fourth quarter runs around. Winds won't be a factor, but they are gusting at about 5 miles an hour from the southeast. The head coach for the Knights is Jacob Stevenson, and the head coach for the Millwood Falcons in his 12th season is Darwin Franklin. When we come back, we'll hear from Coach Franklin. We'll talk about the bracket, because I can't wait to hear Coach Hayes' breakdown in terms of the teams that are in the 2A1, because Gary and I got into it last week about 2A1 versus 2A2, which one would you rather be in? And then there are some good teams over 2A2, but seriously, the 2A1 is a little heavy, a little top heavy with some names. So I want to get Coach Hayes' breakdown for that. His keys for the game is also coming up. We want to make sure we thank all our sponsors for tonight's contest: Big O's Pork and Dreams, A-Plus Lawn Services, Chris and Christy Harrison of Heritage Funeral Home, Super Prep, and Perry Publishing and Broadcasting Company. And we will be back in just a moment. This is Millwood Falcon Football, sponsored by SSM Health at St. Anthony and the Millwood Enrichment Foundation.
Injuries
The
don't
new
wait
2024
for business
Mitsubishi
hours.
Outlander,
Now you can be
Oklahoma's
seen
best kept
24/7 for sports injuries. Whether you have a sprain or a broken bone, at the SSM Health Bone and Joint Injury Clinic at 13401 Northwestern.
Hey, this right here is a fat butt. Everybody been hearing about it on the radio. You can come to my Millwood City location, 6003 Southeast 15, or you go to my admin, 285 South Santa Fe. Come get you one of these taters.
and AIDS. Celebrating 25 years of advocacy, Guiding Right Incorporated is hosting this special occasion to honor our community's resilience and support. Be a part of this milestone on Saturday, December 7th at the Jones Assembly in downtown Oklahoma City, where you'll experience a night of elegance, entertainment, and inspiration. Your participation helps us continue our vital work in HIV prevention, research, and treatment centers. Guiding Right Incorporated is a proud leader in women and infants children's services and tobacco control services.
Deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away, so the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now during our Black Friday sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus special financing. Limited time. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Let's get back to more Millwood football on Heart and Soul 92.1 and 1140.
Welcome back to Falcon Pregame. Maurice Prince and Director of Operations A. Shannon Hayes with me this evening. As always, it's always good to hear what the head coach has to say. It's always good to hear the thoughts of Coach Darwin Franklin, and I had a chance to talk to him a little bit earlier as we get ready for tonight's contest, and let's let you hear what he had to say about tonight's game. Talking pregame with Coach Darwin Franklin. Coach, your team faced a great challenge last week in the elements. What did you learn about the grit of this team to go ahead and pull out a gutsy win?
Resiliency. You know, the conditions were the conditions, you know, and both teams were in the same elements, and sometimes it just happens that way, and you got to find a way to just squeak one out like we did. Poor footing, you know, we couldn't make any excuses, you know, not catching the ball, not tackling well, being slippery, you know. It is what it is, and but you also need those kind of games if you have any kind of long-term goals that if weather does present itself unfavorable, that we've played in something like that so the guys can now lean on that experience and hopefully be able to help us down the line.
The third season has begun. It's officially the playoffs. As you guys do, you merit success 1 week at a time. So going into this week, what is the mentality of the coaches and this team?
One and done. You know, it's not there's no next week. It's guaranteed. You have to prepare this week, and you got to go 1-0 this week. And that's the only thing that we've really been thinking about is getting to today and trying to execute better, and hopefully we can start peaking at a better time, which is now, putting some things together offensively, defensively, special teams to play consistent and be prepared and go out and execute.
Coach, you're facing a familiar foe in the Crossing Christian Knights. It's a good football team. They've been gritty, having to fight. They had to claw their way to get in this week. What is your thoughts about this year's edition of that team?
Very energetic, very athletic, running all over the field, high motor. They don't stop. So it's definitely a four-quarter ball game. Jacob's done a great job with them again, getting, you know, that school into playoffs again. They were in the same district with Marlowe and Lindsay, and so we gotta go and work. You know, we understand that they present some unique things defensively that we have to make sure that we account for up front. Their offense is pretty spread out, and we're gonna have to be able to tackle well, tackle in space, but we just got to bring the wood.
Finally, Coach, as you look at your team this week coming out of practice, what do you expect as they take on the field tonight?
High level of execution. We got to execute, and block out all the other stuff, block out all the other naysayers, block out what people have to say, block out opinions, block out their own selfish mentality, and remember that this is a family, this is a team. The guys that get dressed in this locker room has to mean more than the eyes that might be looking back at me in the mirror. So I believe that we had a great week of preparation. Coaches are dialed in, players are dialed in, had a very good jog through yesterday. It's still, the fundamentals are still blocking, tackling, you know, so it doesn't change no matter what the game is. The team that blocks the best and tackles the best is going to be the one to win. So that's what we got to do.
The words of head coach Darwin Franklin, Coach Hayes, there's a lot to dissect there, as Coach Franklin always does. He is very stoic in his bringing. When he brings his energy, and he has a very focused vision of what he expects from his team, his players, and his coaches.
Yeah, I mean, and I was listening to that. There were three things that just popped up in my head. He talked about family, he talked about being focused, and then he talks about pretty much his faith, And so I think that not only just but believing in each other, and I think that's really the thing that happens is that each one of these kids by now should believe in what they can do. They should know each other's weaknesses and be able to compensate for where their teammate can't. That's why it's a team. So because one person can't do everything. So that's pretty much the philosophy that I've heard in his speech to us.
Now, the other thing that always stood out to me is when he said everybody who's all locked in. I like the fact that he said they had a good week of practice. To me, being able to see a few Millwood practices in my day, practices are usually sometimes more rigorous than the game itself.
Yeah.
And so when he says you had a good week of practice, that means what I threw, what we planned, responded well.
Yeah.
You responded well to the adversity that you were facing. You responded well to the challenges or the adjustments or the new shifts or things we had to do to get ready for this team. That's how I read that. I think, to me, that's probably one of the most important things because we'll see the game plan unfold early in this one.
Yeah, and we were having that conversation earlier the week in terms of because when he gets to playoffs, he turns it up. He gets even more intense. Little curt and short on some of his conversations because he's dialed in, he's focused about it. One of the Thompson, Xavier, came up to him one day, I think first day of practice, Coach, we got it, but it took him to being a senior to seeing every year. He says, we got you. And so I think that kind of lets him know, as well as the team, the players, the seniors, know that this is it. So that leadership, I think, has starting to rear its head, which is a great opportunity and a great time.
One of the things I wanted to talk to you about, and I had a little bit of time to talk to you about, is the ever-popular 2A1 bracket. You said a little bit of bracketology in the middle of early November, getting into late December is something that they do around here. When you start talking about bracket, what impressed you, or did anything surprise you about the 2A1 bracket at all?
No, it made it even more easier this year because, you got 32 teams that have to determine versus having 64. But it kind of pretty much, when I realized who was in each one of the from 2A1, 2, 3, and 4, of how it kind of, played out. I can draw it out in my sleep now. And so I knew kind of who we were going to pretty much be set up against. Wasn't sure about if it was going to be Crossings or between Dibble, one of those two. I knew that we would have that, and that would be that fourth seed coming out of that same 2A4 with Washington, I believe, on 2A2. And so, and like I was telling the AD from Cross, I said, man, we've played each other 4 straight years in a row. I mean,
right. And I think 4 straight years in a row. And the other part of that I found also interesting when we look at it on that is that the fact that 3 years ago, they walked in here and walked out with a win in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so with that being said, you don't have to remind the teams or anything about it. Crossing wants to make history. Millwood wants to continue to dominate this series as they have had. So when I looked at the matchup in the bracket, though, I always saw, of course, Millwood on one side, Washington on the other.
Side, yeah.
And it looks, once again, like it's set as a collision course. Now, there's a lot to go on because somewhere in there, Millwood has a chance of possibly seeing more than likely Marlowe or Hugo or Chandler in those later rounds coming up. In fact, Chandler-Hugo winner will play Millwood here next week should the Falcons win and advance to the next round. Mm-hmm. So that's something to talk about. On the other side, Washington will have to look down Jones a little while ago, and that was a state semifinal in Washington last year. Jones really pressed Washington last year. If Jones hadn't have got tripped up early on, I think it was by the eventual Kiefer, who Millwood ended up having to beat up near Tulsa last year, it would have been something interesting to go on. So a lot of excitement is about to start as the teams are about to take the field. If you had to have some keys to the game tonight, was there anything that you would want to look at overall between these teams?
Well, like I say, to me, it's going to be the one that limits mistakes.
All right.
And that can be in any type of combination, from turnovers, from penalties, from misassignments. I think those to me, are going to be some of the keys that ensures that you can come out with a victory.
Yeah.
I think you limit those. They're going to happen, but by now you should have worked on it. If you had a really good week of practice, especially Millwood, I'm assuming Crossings had a good practice. You got to come out here and you got to execute, and you've got to do it at a high level. We're no longer going to see the teams that we've been dealing with where you may only play half of the game. This is going to be 4 quarters. It's going to determine in this first quarter how these two teams come out and play and minimize their mistakes.
I agree, and I think that's a great point that you brought up. Limit mistakes. I also throw in there win the turnover battle, but that goes back to limit the mistakes that you're talking about. Tackle in space. It's important when you have a team like Crossing that likes to play 5 wide and stretch people out, that you got to tackle in space. They want to isolate, try to get to particular matchups. That's something they want to do. And I agree. Starting off on the most positive foot that you can in the game is the other key that you have to stand on overall tonight. So we're ready to get things started here. As the Falcons have taken the field tonight, they're wearing their dark blue jerseys with white numbers, white helmets with the letter M on the side. If you're listening on your radio tonight, I want to say thank you so much for doing so. But remember, you can download the app PPBC TV, or you can open up your YouTube app and go to the Millwood Falcon Facebook page, and you can join us here live. Want to make sure we thank all our sponsors for tonight's game. That is St. Anthony's, SSM Health at St. Anthony's, the Millwood Enrichment Foundation, Bank First, Big O's Pork and Dreams, A-Plus Lawn Care, Chris and Christy Harrison of Heritage Funeral Home, Super Prep, and Perry Publishing and Broadcasting Company. So, Crossing tonight is wearing their black pants with white jerseys and black numbers on their jersey with black helmets tonight. So that's something that we will go ahead and pause for a few seconds for station identification. You are listening to Millwood Falcon football.
KRFD, K221FQ, Oklahoma City. The all-new Heart and Soul 92.1 and 1140, a Perry Broadcasting Station.
All right, and we are set for kickoff now. On the field, the Falcons are set to kick the ball off. Denver Young is going to put the ball in play right now. The Falcons will be kicking from the north end zone. And we're ready. Millwood playoff football has begun. Ball's going to be fielded by number 4 at the 14-yard line. He flips it on an end around. Coming into open flats, number 12 now has it. It's going to be tripped up at about the 35-yard line. Great opening play and a little bit of misdirection there by Crossing. Caden Lazel. I'll say Lazel. Let's say Lazel returns the ball out to the 37-yard line, and that's where they'll set up shop, 1st and 10. So right away, the Knights are putting pressure immediately for you to be in your spot, know what you need to do, know your responsibility, Coach.
And once again, when I was talking about, your assignments, and that's pretty much where, Crossings may say, hey, athletically, we may not always match up, so we got to pull some things out. We've got to make sure that they're true. Test them early in different various areas.
Quarterback for the Knights is Bennett Baker, the senior. And they're getting their call changed from the sideline. Still have plenty of seconds to snap the ball. Well, actually, no, they don't. 3 seconds to snap it. They got to hurry. 2, 1, they may not get it off. It's going to be a delay of game penalty. In fact, I think the officials were kind. They're trying to give them an opportunity to get their bearings as they were looking at that initial coverage right there, Coach Hayes, and they weren't quite ready.
Yeah, and that's one of those mistakes that really I think was more for the sideline than it is for the kids. I mean, you pretty much usually script your first 15 to 20 plays coming out, and so not sure what happened with that communication on that.
All right, coming set right now. They've got 3 receivers now. Twins to the left, single back in the backfield for Baker. Ball snap. Baker's going to throw the ball to the outside. The ball's going to be deflected. Nice job there on the play. Jonathan Parker, the defensive end, knocked that ball down right out of the air, coming through on that really blitz stunt there.
Yeah, and that's why you need to have 2 tall bookends. Those defensive ends can be able to use their hands as well. And I've noticed in the film with Crossings that they like to try to get the number 2 out in space and try to give them an opportunity, and especially when we get outside those speed rushers and be able to get downfield.
So 2nd down and what will be 15 following the delay of game penalty. They've gone 4 wide, trips to the right, single back formation, and they're going to fling it. Bennett has someone open, but he was not able to make the reception. That is Brayton Alea, who was not able to make the reception, so third down on that play.
Yeah, and Denver Young should have stayed with that receiver, and for some reason, I'm not sure why he kept going one way, the receiver went the other way, so I think he got his eyes caught in the backfield on that one.
Yeah, it does happen, and I said for every player tonight, there will be a little bit of nerves.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they got to get that off, and I think for both teams in the first possession of the game, that might be something that we see from everyone tonight. Going back to work, 3 receivers, Twins left, 1 back in the backfield. Millwood is showing blitz. They're going to set up the screen in the middle of the field. Nice pay. Out to the 40, 45-yard line. Going to be out to the 40, 49. It will be a nice first down as Cam Parker makes the reception and gives Crossing nearly a first down at midfield.
Yeah, that's one thing that people try to use is Millwood speed against them, is that their pursuit up the field and they don't really communicate about a screen pass. So it's a great play that was called and executing the first down.
Nice job by Bennett. Nice throw and catch there. 4 receivers, trips to the right side. Ball is snapped. Bennett, little quarterback zone read here. Little RPO action. Going to get a couple of yards into Millwood territory at the 49-yard line. And again, trying to keep the Falcons on their heels. And the Knights are trying to strike pay dirt early here.
Yeah, and I like the play calling. I mean, they're pretty much kind of coming up with, they're not in a true rhythm, first down run or something like that in terms if it is, it's a quarterback keeper that also maybe has an option to a pass. So, you have to still kind of stay true into your assignments.
All right. 4 receivers, 2 stacked on both sides. Bennett's going to throw it across the middle of the field, and the pass is deflected up in the air, and it's going to be caught. Pass was deflected straight up in the air, and somehow Drake Manuel still concentrated, focused, and he made the catch inside the 35-yard line. So a little bit of I want to say luck, but hey, that ball was deflected up, but he was focused, he concentrated on the ball, and made the reception.
Being in the right place at the right time.
That's a little bit of that too. It's going to be a first down now at looks like the 34-yard line. Set to work. Bennett's going to throw it out. Quick screen pass to the tight end. And the catch is made by Cam Parker. He's going to get a couple of yards, for maybe a gain of 3 or 4. Once again, the Knights going to work right away, using all options on this initial drive.
Cam Parker, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
So after that, they have not come set yet, so we're going to have to wait here. They're getting their call from the sideline, but they've kept the same personnel in the game for the most part. So now they go with 3 receivers, Twins to the right, 1 back in the backfield, and Bennett's going to take off again right up the middle. This time the Falcons able to shut it down. Cam Carter stops him for a minimal gain as the ball is taken down to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, I think, like I say, the linebackers are coming up, filling those gaps now. Like I say, this first series is a way to kind of see what the set's going to look like from Crossings, and I think they're starting to settle down. It's going to be interesting to see how what defensive call we have on this third down.
So third down and about 6 yards to go. 3 receivers, Twins right. Bennett shotgun. Ball is snapped. He sits back in the pocket, going to fire one. Has a receiver open deep, and pass was over the top, incomplete. So it will be 4th down now. Decision time now for Coach Stevenson.
Unless he's got a kicker, I wouldn't see why he wouldn't go for it here. I think, playing it safe, turnover on downs, I mean, you may lose maybe 10, 15 yards, but I think it would be my call to be able to do that.
So 4th down, and the Knights are going to go ahead and roll the dice now. So they're still waiting on their call. They got 10 seconds on the play clock. Officially, it's 9:05 to go in the first. Opening drive for the Knights. Single back. And it looks like the Knights are going to call a timeout as confusion. And one of those things are in the early chess match here, Coach Hayes, is looking at how the teams are adjusting. So initially here, the Knights have had they had 1 delay of game penalty on this one. And the second one, as Millwood's lining up, is not quite what they thought, or something's going on early on in this game that's making Coach Stevenson uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, we talk about mistakes. Right now, just counting on this first possession, you've got 1 for Crossings, but you got 2 for Millwood. So I mean, they caught us off on our assignments. We blitzed, and they got us on a screenplay. Then we turn around, which, like I say, it was being at the right place at the right time. But I think, like I say, and this is the one thing that I really like about the Millwood defense is that they'll eventually settle in. Last week, I mean, they had a few inside that 20-yard line goal stands. I mean, they bottle and are very stingy about it. And so that's what I want to kind of see if they continue to keep that tradition as Crossings continues to move forward.
And Crossing is not unfamiliar with the end zone. They average about 27 points a game in the regular season, giving up about 18 overall. Pass to the outside is going to be caught. Nice open field tackle there. That tackle's been made by first of a reception made by Braden Ayala. And it's going to be enough for a first down. So another well-done job by the Crossing Christian Knights. First down at the Falcon 24-yard line.
Yeah, like I say, the secondary is kind of playing off a little bit in terms of their alignments, and they're giving them a little bit of respect here. And so I guess they're trying to keep everything in front of them.
4 receivers, trips to the right side, ball is snapped. Baker going to be brought down in the backfield, and it looks like Mr. Johnson, Yaquab Johnson, getting in the backfield and sacking Baker at the 30-yard line. Loss of 6 on the play.
That was a great play by him. I mean, it's just amazing. He comes off that edge, and he is like a bullet. And so excited about his growth and maturity that he has. Yeah, quarterback, he didn't even have a chance to even get a chance to get that play off.
Second down and 16, and I don't think there was a player in Falcon Blue last week that had more fun in the rain than Yaquab. He was trying to get wet. Everything he could do to get wet, he was trying to cool off. All right, there's going to be a flag thrown on play as Baker unloads and throws it out of bounds, but there is going to be holding is the call against the Knights.
Yeah, and that definitely was. Matter of fact, I think I saw a second hold on there as well as Jonathan on that edge.
Well, if you get caught holding once, you might as well just go ahead and carry it all the way through.
You might as well,
I mean, if you already knew and you saw that, then you just might as well not let them take a cheap shot on your quarterback. You might as well play it smart. That's
absolutely. And so I think this is a good call for Coach Franklin to accept this penalty and kind of push him back just in case they may have a kicker or something like that. Just kind of make it more a challenge for him. So we just got to continue to keep discipline, and secondary's got to stay focused.
So that penalty is going to move the ball back to the 39-yard line, setting up second down and 25. 7:52 to go, 16 seconds on the clock. Also, when you're playing a team that usually runs the spread, they play off tempo and momentum. Getting them going backwards might slow down the drive. Pistol formation now. Single receiver. Receiver comes out of the backfield. It's going to be caught there, and that is Jonah Naher, who's going to be forced out of bounds there, maybe right there at about the 40-yard line. So it looks like they might actually lose a yard on that play.
Yeah, you don't have too many plays in your book that are for 3rd and 26. So, it definitely does kind of throw your rhythm off there a little bit.
It does. Those are those difficult situations. But now, as you said before, you got to play smart here. Don't give Millwood any other ground here if you're crossing. But at the same point in time, you had something good going, and you're trying to see if you can catch them sleeping. I'm looking again for another possible screenplay here from the Knights.
Yeah, number 88. I mean, he's been really a part of this.
Cam Parker.
Yeah.
All right, and we're going to pull it up down the middle, and taking it down goes Baker. Baker finds a crease. Is running down the sideline, takes a hit, and knocked out of bounds right there at about the 25-yard line. But what a good job by Baker finding a crease and exploiting the Millwood defense. But what he has done more importantly is given them a better chance of trying to convert should Coach Stevenson want to do that.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm not sure who the spotter is on Cam, but on him. I mean, because Swaim, he's pretty much elusive in terms of his running abilities. But it's like whoever's supposed to spot him lost him and understanding how to take that angle on the edge. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do, but he definitely gives them another option when he comes out of the pocket.
4 receivers, and now Baker's going to put it up. Baker has a receiver open. He's going to throw the ball deep into the end zone, and that pass is incomplete. It will be turnover on downs, and the Falcons have stymied the first initial drive by Crossings Christian. Now, the one thing I will say on the drive is the real, because you had, as you said, the tip ball catch. Crossing was driving, but those 2 penalties specifically the holding penalty, really stopped the momentum on that play.
Absolutely, absolutely. So those are the mistakes that, once again, those are predominant two mistakes that they've made. It's just those penalties.
Yeah. Here we go to work. So now, CJ going to hand the ball off right up the middle, and we're going to get our first carry of the night, of course, to Anthony Keys. And it looks like Keys may lose a yard on that one, as he might not have gotten back to the line of scrimmage on the play. And he is. So it's going to put the ball back at the...
No, they lined it straight up, so it looks like he's back at the
same, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Line of scrimmage there.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing doing for Keys on that first run. Let's see what the Falcons do here. 4 receivers stacked. CJ lines up, fires one across the middle. Xavier Thompson makes a reception at the 50. He's at the 40-yard line. He's still on his feet at the 35. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. To the 10, 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Falcons. CJ hit Xavier Thompson on a crossing route he found in the middle of the field and scrambled some eggs and headed to the end zone.
Man, and when I say a snatch, he snatched that ball out of the air. I mean, that was nothing but hands. I mean, that was a beautiful catch. Caught him on the stride. And like I say, Xavier is the 400-meter champion from last year. So trying to catch him is going to definitely be a challenge.
So we're going to run the Wild Falcon now as Cameron Carter is out there. Different condition. Cameron Carter usually converts 2-pointers rather easily, and he does on this one. And last week in the rain, he was having a tough time. I mean, finding some stable ground that would allow him to do that. But what a pass, what a play by Xavier Thompson, 70 yards to the house there.
Good way to make a statement. I mean, way to make an open statement. So
they do just that. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Millwood Falcon Football, sponsored by SSM Health at St. Anthony, the Millwood Enrichment Foundation, and Bank First.
Experience the epitome of luxury with Excalibur Executive Black Car Service. Our professional chauffeurs provide an unparalleled level of service, ensuring comfort and elegance in every ride. Choose from a sophisticated fleet of black cars, each offering a premium experience tailored to your needs. Whether for business or leisure, our executive car service promises punctuality, discretion, and excellence. Elevate your travel experience today. Call us at 405-885-8670 to book your next journey with Excalibur.
Let's get back to more Millwood football on Heart and Soul 92.1 and 1140.
Back to the good house as the Falcons lit the crowd up under a full moon on their opening possession. More information about that as the ball takes a short hop. It's still on the ground, but it's finally corralled there by Bennett Baker. Right there at about the 20-yard line, so 1st and 10 from that spot. But it's time for a Super Play scoring recap. Super Prep is the premier sports outlet featuring the very best in high school and college student athletes in the city, state, and nation. Super Prep can be found on OKC Sports Radio 105.3 and on social media at Super Prep OK. 2 plays, 70 yards to the house, plus the 2 by Cameron Carter, and the Falcons lead 8-0. And now it's time for the Knights' second possession of the night as they find themselves down 8 with 6:08 to go. 4 receivers now, trip stacked on the right side. They're going to swing it out to the outside. And no traction there as Braden Alea, nothing doing on that play. 2nd down and 10. As they tried to swing it on that quick screen pass to the outside.
Yeah, like I say, that pretty much seems to be their and I guess why he's a good quarterback, because they're trying to pretty much give them on the outside. So our secondary is going to definitely be challenged tonight.
So back to work now. 3 receivers, twins to the left. Ball is snapped. Baker going to try and find some daylight in the middle of the field. He's going to get a couple of yards. Gain of about 2 or 3. Setting up 3rd down and what will be 7 as the ball is out to the 28-yard line. Or make that the 24-yard line, excuse me. So a gain of 4 on the play. And setting up, like I said, gain of 3, 3rd down and 7.
think
Three,
you got to get number 88, and Cam's got to be in this play.
3 receivers. Ball snap. Baker's going to put it up. Baker decides to pull it down and fires across the middle, and Paul is caught. What a Braden Alaya. Going to try and get this young man's name right over the course of the night.
Ayaya, I think I'm going to say.
That's
what I'm saying. Ayaya.
Okay. As the catch is made at the 37-yard line, and it's going to be enough for a Crossing Christian first down. So now 3 receivers, twins to the left, and we're keeping our eye on Cam Parker. He's lined up in the backfield, and he's going to get it right here on the call. And the Falcons are producing him, and then a big-time hit comes in.
Q-Dog came in the house.
That would be the human missile.
Quest Morris.
The missile, Quest Morris, comes in and lays a big hit. Going to cause a loss on the play back to the 35-yard line there. But
yeah, he's a good young man. He can come downhill, and I like his game.
Yeah, there's so much to like. He's such a talented young man and got a great motor. All right, going to work now. Baker's going to hand the ball to the middle of the field. What a nice spin move out to the 40-yard line as Jonah Naher tries to get a gain of he did a lot of great work to get the team back after the loss on the play, a gain of about 7 yards, but that spin move was nice.
Yeah,
out to the 40-yard line, 3rd down and 8 now.
Great tackle by Cameron Carter there. He saved a good gain. That would have been a first down if he didn't make that tackle. So way to close that gap. Linebackers are coming up. You know, him and Quest, they're doing a really good job here.
So 3rd down and about 6 yards to go. 4 receivers now. Ball the snap. Baker's going to put it up. He's going to swing it to the outside. Actually, it looks like a lateral pass. And the Falcons are going to pick it up. And it's still going almost on a scoop and score attempt there. Great job by number 22 from the Falcons, Deshaun Buford, who recognized that it was a backwards pass and it was a live ball, and the Falcons stayed up on it. When you run a lot of quick games, sometimes it's easy to forget that pass, if it's not right down that line, that if it goes backwards, it's a live ball. And the Falcons are going to get a turnover here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I'm glad Buford picked that up, and so that's a good turnover. Like I say, see what the Falcons can do on this one here.
So, recovered by Deshaun Buford. So now going back to work. C.J. Turnbull drops back in the pocket, throws it to the outside. Pass is incomplete. Tried to swing it out there. Pass intended for Xavier Thompson.
Yeah, you know, last week, you know, was CJ's first game back, and what a game to try to come back and try to get your rhythm in.
Yeah.
So I'm not shocked by that miscue in terms of just kind of get his timing back and getting his feet under him, and so I'm glad that they're opening up the passing game and trying to get him a little more trust with him.
So CJ's pass is incomplete. 2nd down and 10. Ball snap. CJ fakes it to the left side and then throws it ahead, and a nice throw and catch. This time Donovan Knight making the reception. Going to be close to a 3rd down and short yardage here.
And that's who he was going to last time was Donovan McKnight. So it's going back to where they can get their rhythm together. Because I know probably after that first touchdown, Xavier is going to have somebody on the bottom and on the top, you know. So they're going to keep an eye on him.
So the ball looks like it's going to be spotted at the 14-yard line now after a gain of what will be 6 yards here. So staring down 3rd down and 4. Falcons come set with 2 receivers split on either side. Single back, Anthony Keys in his hip pocket left. Balls. And before things get started now, looks like it's going to be a false start penalty against the Falcons. So that's going to back the ball up to the 19-yard line. Setting up 3rd down and 9. 2:16 to go before the end of the first quarter. 8-0 is the score. This is Millwood Falcon football brought to you by SSM Health at St. Anthony and the Millwood Enrichment Foundation and Bank First. 4 receivers, 2 receivers stacked on either side right now. Single back formation. CJ is going to put it up, and Anthony Keys somehow stays with it. He was bobbling it, didn't really have control, but he's going to catch it and bring it down at the 15-yard line for a gain of 4 there, Coach.
Yeah, I think CJ should have backed up a little bit more to try to get a little better separation on that.
On that screenplay.
Yeah, on that screenplay, and I think it would have been a really good call there. So, like I say, rhythm. Just getting a rhythm here.
Fourth down and 4, and the Falcons are going to go for it.
They're
4
gonna take
receivers. And coming across the formation is Gabriel Bivens, and they're going to fling it out to Givens, and the pass is going to be intercepted. Bivens missed it, but I tell you what, number 12, Caden Lazel, did not. So it will be an interception, and it will be crossing Christian ball at the 15-yard line.
Well, I mean, you know, I guess it's the same thing as a turnover and downs because he dropped the ball anyway. So I guess it's almost that. But
yeah, this is one of the situations where you knew if you didn't get it, that was the worst case scenario you would hope. You're just glad it didn't end up being a pick six in that case if you are a Falcon fan. However, if you're the Knights watching tonight's contest, that's something to be encouraged about. They stopped the offense and the momentum. The Falcons could be up by 2 scores at this point. Now going to work, giving the ball in the hands of Jonah Neher, and he doesn't get too far. It looks like he may not have even gotten to the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose a yard back to the 14-yard line.
Yeah, they went in that Wildcat formation, and Cam Carter read that. He came straight up that gap and shut it down really quick. You know, Crossings right now, they're winning all the tip balls, I guess you could say as well, you know, in terms of that. But they're pinned down in a hole, so we'll see pretty much.
All right, 55 seconds to go before the end of the first half. A double move and a pass deep. Getting behind the secondary, down the sideline he goes. It's Caden Lazel, and he's going to be finally brought down by Zion Roberts, who had to run him down. But what a tremendous play by the Knights on a double move. Nice pump fake and hit down the sideline. Almost scored on that play. All the way down to what will be the Millwood 5-yard line.
Yeah, he got his eyes caught in the backfield on that one, and then that double pump faked him out, and so that was a good call.
That was a pass play of 81 yards on that for the Knights. So now going to work, got 3 receivers, and Coach Stevenson has to be happy. His team's right back in business, and going to work right up the middle of the field. And still running his legs hard, and into the end zone he goes. Are they going to get the touchdown? And they do. Bennett Baker into the end zone for the Knights. And the Knights have answered. Off the Falcon turnover into the end zone they go. Touchdown.
Yeah, that was just power there. That was pretty much off the left side, the tackle. They followed the guard, and they just went in.
So now to work we go. And the Knights look like they're going to go for 2 here. The formation is spread wide. And the Falcons are lining up as they shift and going to work to the outside. They're going to pitch it, finding a crease to the inside, and they'll get in for the 2-point conversion. Goes in is Braden Ayala. We're just going to say Braden because I don't want to get anybody upset. But Braden gets into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. So we're all tied up at 8. And a nice job on answering following the turnover. We'll be right back. You're listening to Millwood Falcon Football, sponsored by SSM Health at St. Anthony and the Millwood Enrichment Foundation and Bank First.
Build up to Black Friday with savings all month long at Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select major appliances, plus take an additional 10% off when you buy select major appliances. And don't wait to pick up holiday inflatables under $20. Don't wait to save, in-store or online now, because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 11/6 through 12/4. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details and qualifying items while supplies last.
Let's get back to more Millwood football on Heart and Soul 92.1 and 1140.
And the kickoff is away, and it's going to go into the end zone for a touchback. And the momentum, as we talked about early in pregame, that was something that can change on a dime. You want to limit mistakes, although it didn't seem like a mistake, but a turnover on downs definitely gave the Knights some momentum. And then one play, as they had that 81-yard strike, that Bennett Baker threw to Caden Lazel, He hits that pass, goes down there, and the next thing you know, Bennett Baker into the end zone with a blink, and we're all tied up at 8, just like that at the first quarter here, Coach.
Yeah, like I say, I mean, our secondaries, they've got to be able to keep their head on the swivel and ensure they be able to keep that person in front of them.
All right, into the end zone it goes for the touchback, and the Falcons start on the 20-yard line. Catch is going to be made immediately at the 30, at the 35-yard line, at the 40. Quick passes turning into so much more at the 40. Inside, he's still on his feet at the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Falcons. Falcons fly as Dominique Martin to the house for the Falcons. Now, is there any flags on the play or...
Okay, because they did stop the play, so I wanted to make sure that was not for a flag. But
all right, but what a response by the Falcons on that, and Dominique Martin gets on his horse and takes it to the house.
Yeah, he's another good young man that really has blossomed throughout the year, and so proud that we have that other arsenal that we can be able to look towards, and so. I mean, just basically a five and in route, pretty much, that turned into a touchdown. So that shows that athleticism that Millwood has on the outside. And so good way to respond in one play. Theirs was 81. This one was what, 80? 80,
that's right. I mean, response right back. We have an injury on the field. Looks like it's number 14 that's down. Brayson. Just going to say that he has a name that is above my pay grade. So I'm going to say that Brayson is an individual. Looks like that's who it is down. And it's not him. That is Charlie Cook.
Well, he's not too serious.
Yeah, he's up on his feet. So I'm just glad to see this young man on his feet right now. Hopefully he'll be all right. But he is favoring his right ankle. But the Falcons did respond. And one way to get the momentum back is to continue to bring the big plays, and both teams have the capability of doing that. I was talking just a little while ago that Crossing can put up points. They average 27.7 points per game. The Falcons are averaging 32 points per game. It's one of those type of things where the Falcons are going to have to respond in every, looking at all the situations. And one thing you want to do is keep the pressure on little brother. In this case, you don't want them to feel all that comfortable if you're a Falcon fan. However, if you are here, Crossing wants to show that they can stay in the fight.
Yes.
So they're hoping to, I'm not saying this is Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul tonight, but it definitely has some capabilities. And this time, looks like the Falcons are going to be turned away this time as the 2-point conversion attempt is no good, with 3 seconds on the play clock. And we'll be right back. This is Millwood Falcon Football, sponsored by SSM Health at St. Anthony, the Millwood and Richmond Foundation, and Bank First.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
Let's get back to more Millwood football on Heart and Soul 92.1 and 1140.
And we're back at the Good House. Maurice Prince and Director of Operations A. Shannon Hayes on the call. We've seen some explosive plays here. For those who like explosive plays and any time that you throw something out there that's more than 50 yards, you have to be impressed by what you see. And both teams have shown fireworks early. The Falcons answered and now lead 14-8. Kick is away, and it's going to bounce right out of bounds inside the 18-yard line. That will be a penalty, and it will give them great starting position, the Knights, at the 35-yard line. I really want to go back to that last night possession, Coach Hayes, if I could, because that double move that was run that time by Caden Lazel, that was beautifully done, that up fake, and then again, we're catching our DBs, the Falcon DBs, not looking in the backfield, not staying pat on where their responsibilities need to be, and they've been beat off the ball a couple of times. And Crossing has found that by going a little bit of left, doing a little bit of razzle-dazzle, odd formations is keeping the Falcons off balance.
Yeah, I think Zion was in a position of trying to intercept that ball versus trying to play the player as well. And so when he didn't open up himself, then that's basically when he allowed him to run past him.
Are going to work right now. The ball that looks like that is Jonah Naher, who's going to get a gain of maybe a gain of 1 on the play. Trying to see if that's where they have it marked out. Or they're going to say it's right at the 35-yard line, no gain on the play. So that's the situation the Falcons find themselves here, as that is the end of the first quarter. Last 3 seconds tick off the clock. It is 14-8. We'll stay here for this particular break. What has been the most impressive thing about this game so far to you? What stands out the most?
Well, that each team has come to fight. I mean, I think that's really the statement that Crossings is trying to make. Yes, we're here, and we want to be taken serious. And so I've been impressed with their play calling. They've been executing very well, and so. And like I say, Millwood's responding, and I'm thankful because, like I say, after last week, not really getting in a good offensive rhythm and scoring 6 points even in a mud bowl, you would think that your offensive line, who is an experienced offensive line, would be able to pound the ball and be able to kind of show how they can run. But tonight, it's exciting. I mean, I definitely was expecting Crossing to.
Yeah, you know what I want to say? I just want to say both teams had to more than likely face some elements last week. Mm-hmm. It's like both passing games got to show that they could go vertical. Yeah. Both teams had to be forced more than likely to run a lot last week. That pass play there by Baker is incomplete, so it's going to be 3rd down and 10 now. So I'm just thinking early on, because right now we have not seen a lot of Anthony Keys in play right now for the Falcons. And on the Crossing, obviously – anybody who's watched night football all year long knows Jonah Naher is one of the big part of their success when they've been able to get him isolated in space, number 2. Mm-hmm. And so seeing things go a little differently earlier, great coaching shows a lot. What a move by Baker. Kind of handed that ball off and he was going to option it, and great open field tackle again. And that is, of course, Q-Dog, Quest Morris, making the play there, limiting the play to a gain of maybe only 4 yards.
Yeah, I'm wondering how many yards passing they had in that first quarter, because that pretty much seems to be their bread and butter right now in terms of execution. And like I said, if it's working, continue to do that.
Crossing has thrown the ball already for 141 yards in the first quarter and run the ball for 29 thus far in the game. Going to work right now, 4th down, and we're going to see the first punt of the night. And Harry Daniels is going to kick the ball away. And he's kicking it to Xavier Thompson. And it's going to be a low kick, and it's going to roll out of bounds inside the 30. I think the officials are going to mark it out, or they're going to say no. They're going to say it stayed in bounds. Okay, so this ball will be bounced. It's going to be even a better kick. It's going to be down at the 23-yard line.
Boy, it didn't look like a good kick when it came off his foot.
No, it didn't. It was a low kick.
Yeah, like came off the side of his foot. So I'm assuming he was told to directional kick that, but he did a really good job on that.
Yeah, that's something that you would definitely do. Kicking to Xavier Thompson is just not always the best career move. CJ is going to take off the middle of the time on a quarterback draw. He's got to open field. He's at the 40. He's at the 45-yard line. He's going to be knocked out right across midfield at the Crossing 47-yard line. So CJ decided to pull it down, and he hit the Jets. I mean, showing some speed and some elusiveness. I know he was injured a couple of weeks ago. He looks really good running that ball there.
Yeah, that was kind of a question mark with me to determine how much running he would be able to do and see. And so he's doing really well, and I'm glad to see that he had that chance to heal up.
So going to work now, CJ takes it into Crossing territory. Ball will be spotted at the 47-yard line. So to work we go. 3 receivers, twins to the right. Ball is snapped. They're going to put it in the belly of Anthony Keys. He's going to be brought down for a loss. There's good penetration again by that Crossing front line. Going to shut him down before he could get the car to the garage on that play.
Yeah, there's about 4 people that didn't block. and they all the linemen. So I mean, you got to keep a head on hat. I don't know. It's almost like they were blocking for a screen because I mean, you get that much penetration.
So 2nd down and 11 as it goes now. 3 receivers. It's officially 10:25 to go before the end of the first half. Buford stretches out, going to ball fake to the outside and going to throw the ball deep. Xavier Thompson runs up underneath it. It takes it to the end zone for a touchdown. Fly, Falcons, fly into the end zone for a touchdown. CJ goes topside as Xavier was running a seam route right down the end zone, right into the end zone for the touchdown.
That was a beautiful pass, just a beautiful pass. And he even had to adjust on that because it was over his back shoulder, and he was able to just adjust and keep in stride. So that's good to see them on a good rhythm, who they've been together for the last 3 years. So that's really good.
All right, so we're going to see the Wild Falcon here. The Falcons got 16 seconds or 13 seconds now to snap the ball. Cameron Carter going to go for 2 here. He's trying to find a crease in the middle of that line, and he keeps forcing his way into the end zone, and the 2-point conversion is good. And the Falcons have taken momentum early here in the second quarter and lead by the score of 22-8. We'll be right back. You're listening to Millwood Falcon Football, sponsored by SSM Health at St. Anthony, the Millwood Enrichment Foundation, and Bank First.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
All right, that was a 3-play, 77-yard drive, capped off by a big play, a 48-yard touchdown strike from C.J. Turnbull to Xavier Thompson. They're gone for 2 tonight on that going with the deep ball. That recap is brought to you by Super Prep, the premier sports outlet featuring the very best in high school and college student athletes in the city, state, and nation. Super Prep can be found on OKC Sports Radio 105.3 and all social media sites. And an onside kick attempt, and the Falcons are trying to recover it, and it looks like they might. The ball's still rolling around loose. The Falcons say they have it.
I think they have it.
They
Wow.
never. What a
Wow.
onside kick there.
Wow.
Tricky Falcons on that one. They looked like they were in a formation where they were getting ready to set up the special team play, like they were getting the call, getting ready to break wide. Instead, they turn around and kick the ball and completely catch the Knights off guard.
Yeah, I was concerned if they didn't have it go 10 yards before they touched it, but the officials got together and confirmed that call, because I was getting ready to say that the Crossings need to have a pretty good possession here to slow down this Falcon attack and maybe get a score.
So the ball will be Falcon football now, and it will be spotted at the crossing 40-yard line. 3 receivers, twins to the right, and Anthony Keys gets it, and that's a couple, maybe a gain of 1 on the play for Keys on that. So that's kind of crazy on that on that whole sequence there, Coach.
Well, you don't expect it. You caught them off guard. We're up 22-8 in the second quarter. Who would do an onside kick? I mean, and so I believe that they caught Crossings off guard, just like Crossings have tried to catch us off guard. I mean, you start out with the kickoff and doing a reverse to the double move pass. I mean, so Millwood said we got a little bit of tricks in our bag too we want to try.
All right, going to work now. 3 receivers. Buford comes out wide. CJ's going to fire it across the middle, and the pass was intended for Xavier Thompson. Pass incomplete, 3rd down. So as it stands right now, the Falcons taking all the momentum, trying to, as they say, take the momentum away from the Knights, and catching them off guard is continuing to do that.
Or take the air out of their sail, pretty much. I
mean, that's exactly what you're doing there. So as it stands right now, Falcons are going to get caught for offsides here.
No, they got a false start on us.
Okay, false start. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
They had the right call, and we flinched.
So penalty against the Falcons here for a false start. And it's going to back the ball inside. I think it's going to back it up to the 44-yard line. And so now you got 3rd down and 14 to go for the first. 4 receivers, trips to the outside. CJ in shotgun formation with Anthony Keys to his hip pocket to the right. Officially 9:25 to go before the end of the first half. The Knights are showing blitz. CJ steps up in the pocket, has a lot of space in front of him. At the 35, he's at the 30. Cuts Dak at the 20. He's at the 10. And he's going to run out of bounds just inside the 10 before he gets to the 5, about the 8-yard line. But there is a flag in the backfield here, and it's going to be holding, so it's coming back.
Yeah, that was a great vision, great hole that opened up. And so not sure where the hole was on the side. I didn't see it. So I didn't think that was one, but by the hands flopping up, I think we know who the foul was on, but I didn't see that.
It's going to put the ball back in Falcon territory, going to back it up to the Falcon 48-yard line, so it's going to get a little bit more challenging at 3rd down and 22.
Well, but you look at all their big plays, they've been over over 50 yards. I mean, so you're trying to get 22 here. So, I mean, there's a chance. Who knows? I mean.
So 4 receivers, trips to the right side is what the Falcons are initially lining up in. Anthony Keys to the hip pocket to the right, and a timeout has been called here by the Falcons. It's a great opportunity here to go ahead and talk about Bank First. Learn more about their premium benefits that will come with your loyalty checking account. Open your loyalty checking account today, and it begins with earning cash back instantly. Cell phone protection, 24/7 roadside assistant, and ID threat protection. Earn cash back rewards. Bank First, loyal to Oklahoma and you. Also, SSM Health Hospitals are proud sponsors of Millwood Public Schools. Sometimes after a hard-fought game, a player needs the services of a sports medicine specialist at SSM Health Hospitals has a great team to get a player back in the game from injury. SSM Health, proud sponsors of Millwood Public Schools. Maurice Prince and Director of Operation A. Shannon Hayes. Let's take a look at the playoff scoreboard. What are some of the other scores going on here tonight? Which game? And particularly, I want to know the score of the Chandler-Hugo game as we get back to live action.
Second quarter, Chandler is up 8-0.
8-0 earlier. Any other surprises catching you early on?
Chisholm is up on Marlowe 6-0 in the second quarter. That's
wow, that is a surprise. Going to work now. CJ with the fake. He's going to roll right, going to fire to the outside, and has a receiver, and he looks like he was trying to hit there Tyshawn Buford, but again, CJ was not quite in the scramble drill, but the receivers kind of sat where they were, and the in this particular case, the Knights kind of kept moving and changed the passing window there. So needless to say, the pass is incomplete.
Yeah.
And the Falcons are going to be forced to punt the ball, and it's going to be the first punt of the night by Denver Young. And the Falcons change up once again, and I guarantee you the Knights are definitely paying attention to the Falcons' formations. And before things get started, it's going to be a false start penalty against the Falcons.
You know, that would have been another fake right there. Would have been great, right up the middle. Because, I mean, they came.
So that's going to move the ball back a little further inside the 45. We'll put it down at the 42.
Yeah, and Denver didn't have a good kick. So I think that was a good penalty to have so he can be able to do a better kick.
And Denver's going to blast this one, and it's going to be fielded right in the arms of Bennett Baker, right there inside the 30-yard line at the 34-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Knights. So as that kick was away, the Knights will get it at their own 39-yard line. Still wasn't one of Denver's best kicks.
No, wasn't one of the best Denver's kicks. But, I mean, the execution of why we do the onside kick and then we end up basically going backwards. So, you know, it pan out like we wanted it to. So Crossings now get a chance to still be able to stay in this game. So still believe that this offensive series is crucial for them to be able to stay within this contest.
All right, to work now. The Knights come out. 2 receivers split, double tight on the right. And before things get started this time, looks like we might have, and we do, false start against, this time, the Knights. So both teams racking up false start penalties. It's going to move the ball inside the 35 back to the 34. So first down and 15 from that spot. All right. So Baker brings his offense up. So we've got 2 receivers split. Ball is snapped. He looks left, fires it, and the pass will be incomplete, intended for Caden Lazel. So second down and 15 now. 8:53 to go before the end of the first half. And the Falcons responded to the big play offense by the Knights, and the Falcons have basically put on 15 consecutive points since then to run the score to 22-8 at this point. So it's one of those things now you have to say here, the Knights are going to try and find a way to counterpunch to keep this fight going.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is a crucial series for them. So let's see what other tricks they have in the bag, to try to make this happen.
And into the flats as a pass that goes complete to Drake Manuel. And Drake is going to get a gain of about 8 yards as he takes the ball just shy of the 30. Actually, he's going to take it out to the 33. So at that point in time, nice gain on the play. So we're staring down third down and what will be about 8 yards to go. And he's going to roll to the left side. Baker looking for real estate, and eventually the pass will be caught right there near the marker. And it's going to be caught at the 39-yard line and will get the Knights a first down.
Wow, they didn't even try that, measure that one.
Hey, Bennett Baker kept rolling. He ran out of real estate. I thought he was going to run out of bounds, but at the last second he unloaded it. And I'm saying that pass play like Josh Allen hitting that receiver on the outside, and they're going to say it's enough for a first down right there at the 39-yard line. So nice job for them getting the first down.
Yeah, this passing game is definitely keeping them here in the game.
So going to work now. Nice fake and cut as he put his foot in the ground, getting to the outside. A flag is thrown on the play, and Baker runs out of bounds. The official sort of threw the flag right where the area where he was running.
Yeah.
And Baker saw it, so he didn't have to expand a lot of energy. He knew that there was a penalty coming his way. Kind of unfortunate for him because he had a whole lot of real estate in front of him. And it's going to be holding against the Knights.
Because he had a nice little running lane there.
Yeah, yes, he did. Yes, he certainly did. He had a tremendous amount of real estate in front of him that time. But needless to say, that penalty of holding is going to move the ball back inside the 30, back to the 29-yard line. So a little bit of backwards action here for the Knights. So first down and 10, or first down and 20, I should say. They're going to throw the ball over the middle of the field. And that pass is incomplete. So second down and 20, where it will be looking at 7:41 to go. Now, the Knights have done a good job when Baker is aggressive. He can extend the pocket. He's been able to roll left, roll right. But he helps the receivers create separation and creates passing lanes. That is very savvy of that young man to be able to create space like that.
He's a true dual quarterback. That's what you want. You want a dual quarterback that can basically hurt you with his legs or with his arm. And so that's pretty much what he has shown tonight.
Naher gets his name called this time, and he's going to be ran out of bounds, or at least close to the sidelines. But the officials are going to say he lost some real estate on the play.
Yeah, that was good penetration by the defense there. Defensive end, the linebackers came down and closed that hole. And that's the one thing about the Falcons is that you can't run outside against them. They have a lot of speed. That's why the pass, number 2, bringing him out into the flat and giving him an opportunity to be more effective is the only way you're going to get past these defensive ends and the linebackers.
Ball the snap, going to throw it in the middle of the field, and that time Baker was just a little bit offline. He had tried to hit Braden Alea, and he passes incomplete, so it's going to be 4th down for the team this time. So 4th down, and you're talking about, they use the expression country mile. That's what it looks like. A long way to go. So this time it looks like the Knights are going to punt this ball away, and standing deep in the Falcon territory is, of course, Xavier Thompson standing back at the Falcon 43. Kick is away. It is a low kick.
Well, I thought that almost hit.
Yeah, it did. It looked like the ball took a funny bounce. It was really close. That's the funny thing about that football. It's an oblong-shaped thing, and it can bounce any direction it really wants when it hits the ground. But needless to say, it will be down at the Falcon 47-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Falcons at that spot.
Well, we've had a couple of defensive stops.
Yes, we
but
have.
I think we've had a lot of penalties to kind of stop the offenses.
Yeah, I mean, it's been kind of stymied the momentum in this game quite a bit here. So needless to say, ball at the 47-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Falcons from that spot. And now, this time, CJ wants to unload it. Pressure. Throws to the outside, and the pass is nearly caught. Pass intended for Donovan Knight, but that pass is incomplete. CJ ran out of time. Good pressure being applied up the middle of the field by Jackson Schneeberger.
Yeah, I think he should have tucked that and ran. I think sometimes you got to be careful. That one last series when they almost had an interception. I think don't want to force the ball and got to know when to pull it down and just get some positive yards.
Yeah, Scheinberger on that last play applied that pressure right up the middle. 4 receivers, 2 split on either side. They're going to fake it. Ball is deflected, and that time the pass was intended for Carter Ray. 4th down it's 3rd down. Pass incomplete, and that ball was deflected at the line of scrimmage that time. Good job by that Knight D-line, creating and disrupting the passing lane. CJ wasn't able to complete it, so 3rd down and 10. 6:36 to go before the end of the first half.
The one thing I can say about Crossings can be able to run and be able to throw. Right now, we're pretty much coming one-dimensional with throwing. It's almost like they're figuring out how to stop Keys, and that's kind of a challenge right now for us trying to get the rhythm on passing.
4 receivers now. We go empty. CJ has plenty of space now. He's looking for someone to get open, and this time he eventually runs out of time. He was lurking around, but the Knights defense kept working, and Cam Parker eventually finds him and brings him down for a sack. Brings him down right there at about the 42-yard line, so a loss of 5 on the play. Everybody ran out and ran deep routes there, Coach Hayes, but no one kind of gave CJ a good target, and so he ran out of space as he was trying to buy time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so it's really a good opportunity for Crossings, but yeah, we're pretty much coming one-dimensional right now in terms of passing.
Denver Young with the high end-over-end kick gets caught up in the air, and it kind of just dies right there at about the 35-yard line for Crossing there.
So now they're bringing in extra DBs. They're pretty much knowing that we're in a passing mode and saying that they're not respecting our running game at all.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30, we'll make that the 34-yard line. 1st and 10 from that spot. 5:45 to go. Both teams, we saw a lot of points in a flurry. And now as both defenses have settled in a little bit here, haven't seen so much on the last few possessions.
No, we haven't, and that's kind of strange thing here, but like I say, penalties has kind of hurt Crossings. I think if they don't have those penalties, they could be scoring again.
Going to work. Bennett Baker going to fire the pass, and it's going to be complete to Naher right there just shy of the 40-yard line. I think they're going to give him progress to the 38-yard line. So a gain of 4 on the play.
Not a manageable second down. I mean, they're moving forward. Clock is running. So
if you're the Knights, you just want to stay in this long enough for good things to happen. You know, good things happen when you were being aggressive. You were playing with tempo. The ball was bouncing your way. You were catching Millwood off guard. But when you slow down, it's like the Falcons have been able to figure them out a little bit more. And they got to find a way to create some more open passing lanes. Baker going to flick the ball to the outside that time. They got a little too fancy on that one, in my opinion.
Well, you know, and here's another thing that we got to realize. We have played Crossings 4 or 5 years in a row, and they were in our district even in the years we wasn't playing in the playoffs. So they've had a chance to kind of know us for a while. So it's one of those things that
these are familiar
exactly.
teams playing each other.
So they have more of an advantage coming into the playoffs first round from a team that they're familiar with. And so
they've won here.
And they've won here. So I think that confidence, and to me, if I'm a coach and I'm trying to navigate this series, I want to be able to hopefully end up with a score, and I will be happy walking in 22-16 at halftime. I feel like I've done a great first half coaching.
4 receivers, trips to the right side, ball is snapped, and we're going to put the ball in play, going to swing it. Naher has it, dances, and actually loses his footing and slips at the 36-yard line there. I mean, had he kept his footing, there was a chance there he could have at least got a first down, or at least a couple of more yards on the play. So he's actually going to lose a couple of yards on that one. So they're going to mark the ball with a loss to the 37. So 4th down and 7, 4:18 to go. Xavier Thompson standing inside the 35 at the 31. Kick is away, low kick, and it's an angled kick, and it's going to bounce out. Again, kicking away from Xavier Thompson is a good idea.
Yeah, and I'm kind of wondering why the sideline judge is not further down to where he's coming back marking that ball. He's still coming from the same side as him when he should have been on here where he can come back and mark. So the back judge, the head linesman, can be able to line up with each other.
To line and to spot the ball.
Yeah.
Because you and I both thought on one of the kicks
Exactly.
that it should have been 7 yards further up than it was actually marked. So the Falcons will have the ball at the 32-yard line. They're going to swing it to the outside. The pass is intercepted. It could be a pick six. Into the end zone it goes for a touchdown as Caden Lazel snatches it out of the air and takes it to the house for a touchdown. Unbelievable. The Knights staying in the game, capitalizing on a Millwood mistake. A pick six into the end zone for the touchdown.
Yeah, his balls are kind of high. He's got to get him down. Like I said, that's a part of that rhythm. And so it's basically caught us off guard, and now here we are, pretty much in a position where I thought that the coach would definitely be good. They score this 2-point conversion, and they can walk in 22-16.
So as it stands now, that was a 32-yard interception return for a touchdown. 3:59 to go. Falcons still up. And right now we're going to see a extra point attempt by Caden. And through the uprights it goes. So the extra point is good. And so nice job there. So hold on here. So it's 22-15. We'll be right back. This is Millwood Falcon Football, sponsored by SSM Health at St. Anthony, the Millwood Enrichment Foundation, and Bank First.
Hey, this right here is a fat butt. Everybody been hearing about it on the radio. You can come to my Millwood City location, 6003 Southeast 15, or you can go to my admin, 285 South Santa Fe. Come get you one of these taters.
Let's take a break and then get back to more Millwood Falcons football. Only on Heart and Soul 92.1 and 1140.
And we're back, and now the Falcons are going to have to respond after a offensive turnover leads to a pick six, and the Knights find themselves down only 7, and the Falcons have to be leery. Okay, it's going to be a false start. They blew the kickoff, so they're going to go ahead and have to re-kick. But the Falcons have to be mindful. You did an onside kick. Please keep in mind that the Crossing Knights won't forget that.
You open Pandora's box, so be prepared. And so, like now, that would have been one of those opportunities they possibly wanted to do one. But like I say, as a coach, I'd be excited if I go in 22-15 and a half from a game where really and truly Crossing has made mistakes that really they had opportunities to capitalize on.
Right, and they've been anything that the Millwood Falcons have not done well, the Knights have taken advantage of, whether it's been pass coverage or offensive execution. Because even on the other scoring drive, it was a turnover on downs, but it was still an interception in that place. And the ball's rolling around on the ground. The Falcons weren't able to cover it. They got to scoop it up at the 4-yard line. Falcons looking for some daylight, trying to move, and going to be brought down there right about the 10-yard line. And again, the Falcons a little trouble there covering the kickoff. And the Knights seize on the opportunity. Great kick coverage by them. And the Falcons are going to have to start this drive from their own 11-yard line.
Momentum has shifted. That's the best thing we can say right now. And so they have to go and execute. They've got to get this running attack going. Because if it's going to be a passing all night long, and if they don't get rhythms, this is going to be a long night.
Right, and I'm glad you brought that up, because with all the action and all the points in the first half of this game, and the Falcons go to the full house backfield this time, and this time they're going to hand the ball off, and coming around the corner is Buford. He's going to blast his way forward out beyond the 15-yard line to the 16-yard line, a gain of 5 on the play.
Yeah, let's get back to the running game. Let's let these young men up front work for their money. Let's see how they are about really executing, and that's where the trenches is where we're not dominating in the trenches right now.
And that the physical part of the game right now, you'd have to give that check mark to Crossing, as Anthony Keys has his best run of the night. 5 Falcons fly out to the 25-yard line for a first down. But that was the best run for Anthony Keys of the night, and it took almost to the end of the first half for us to get it.
Yeah, they have pretty much had his number all night long, and so that's good, man. To give him a little confidence, as well as this offensive line.
So with Anthony Keys taking the ball out to the 25-yard line, another strong run by the Falcons, and the Falcons go to work. CJ's going to throw it up deep again, has a receiver open. It's Xavier Thompson, and he just got it out about 5 yards in front of him. That time CJ unloaded and tried to hit Xavier. So needless to say, 2:43 to go before the end of the first half. But they went vertical. The Falcons are not wasting any time trying to get the ball deep.
Yeah, like I said, and that's to open up, because they're anticipating us running again because we got that first down. So great first down, a call to kind of keep those linebackers honest on their positions. And
the Knights are showing a blitz this time. The Falcons got 10 seconds on the play clock to go ahead and go for it here. 8 seconds. Full house backfield, 2 receiver split. Ball is snapped. CJ's going to swing it to the outside. Catch is made at the 25. Makes a man miss. It takes it out beyond the 30-yard line. Will be close to a Falcon first down, maybe a couple of yards shy, as the ball will be spotted at the 34-yard line. Nice pitch and catch that time over to Bryce Morris, making the reception that time.
Good little freshman. Future's bright. Exciting that he's kind of getting some more snaps. and looking forward to what he can bring as well as we get into the playoffs.
So 2nd down and 1, full house backfield again, 2:37 to go, 13 seconds on the play clock, 2 receivers split. Ball is snapped. This time they're going to hand it to Anthony Keys. Keys, again, cannot find much daylight out to the 35. It's going to be close to the 1st down.
Cam got to hit somebody. I mean, that's Cam. I mean, there's no way. He went in the back of Cam there, and Cam's got to be able to explode. He got to blow that up and give him an opportunity. They had penetration so deep in the backfield that Cam's got to be that reserve to give him that extra opportunity.
Full house backfield. They're going to say it's about a half a football shy. The Crossing Knights are showing blitz. And then Anthony Keys tries to step up, and they're going to go for it on 4th down, and the Knights are going to slam the door. It looks like from this point they did not get it. Coach, did they get it? I didn't think they did.
Nope, they didn't get it. They didn't get
Turnover on downs.
They didn't get it. I like the idea. I'm not sure it being on his first opportunity, but you got to make the call and see.
In this particular case, nothing doing there. Could not get it on 3rd down. Could not get it on 4th down, as the Falcons are going to be turned away. And it's not too often on 3 consecutive runs at the point of attack. The Falcons are not getting it done tonight. Good job for the Crossing Christian Knights. 22-15, 1:56 to go. They go empty, 5 receivers, 4 to the outside. Going to throw it in the backfield, and that one's going to be blown up. Nice job by Quest Morris getting his hands on Caden Lazel.
And if you notice, Quest was being a captain. He was pointing. He was talking to his secondary, allowing them to understand. So I like that leadership. That's one time you need a voice out there where your teammates can hear you and put in a great opportunity for a loss.
So Quest Morris making the play. 2nd down and 14. And this time the Falcon defense closes that door. That door was not open very long for Baker. Baker may get a gain of 1 on the play. Setting it gain of 1. So it's 3rd down and 13 to go. 1 minute to go here, and if you're Coach Stevenson,
Jonah Nair, he's going to probably be, if they're not looking for Cam, the big man.
They're going to throw it to the outside, and the catch is going to be made. Makes one man miss at the 30. At the 25-yard line, he dances. It's going to be just shy of the 1st down to the 25-yard line.
They gave him a 1st down on it.
Okay, so it's going to be a 1st down Knights at the 24-yard line. So another nice pitch and catch down to the 24. So 1st down and 10 for the Knights with 30 seconds on the clock. They can tie this, and before things get started, looks like number 77, Coleman Ridley, came out of his stance.
So the one thing that's going to hurt the Crossing Knights on this one is basically the timeouts, because they've utilized so many timeouts in the 1st quarter that it's going to limit what they can do. So they could have had more time, but now they've got their last timeout, and after that, they're pretty much inbounds when they get tackled. So that may be a benefit for the Falcons.
Yes. So what it stands at right now, 1 timeout remaining with 25 seconds to go. So you're right. It's interesting enough, but the Falcons, there's 2 things that blew me away. One was the pick 6 by the Falcons, and the other one was the failure to get a yard on 3 consecutive runs. I can't even count on one hand how many times Anthony Keys has been stopped over the course of that. And in that particular case, they ran Keys, and I was kind of surprised they didn't run Cameron Carter, or Buford. Keys can get you your tough yards. He is very talented to do that, but the build and the girth of both Cameron Carter and Buford, who is such a physical runner, might have been a guy that you might have used in that situation. But again, they wanted to use Carter as a blocker in those situations because they were running a lot of full house backfield. But it's not too often that I can say that I've seen the Falcons be neutralized in being able to run the ball.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised on that as well, but it's been pretty much all night long.
Back to live action. Screen pass over the middle of the field, and Cam makes the catch. That is Cam Parker, and they're going to instantly call a timeout after that one. They tried to set up a tight end screen in the middle of the field. That play was shut down nicely by the Falcons in the middle of the field. Ball will be spotted at the 27-yard line. So they will use their final timeout after that play. We're going to stay right here, Coach. So it was a gain of 2 only by that play by Cam Parker. What are your options here that you think that, first of all, that you think that the Knights will try to execute and the Falcons need to be ready for? What do you think should be? Are you going back to Cam again? Are you going to try and isolate? Because once again, when Baker attacks the edges, he's been able to create passing lanes and big plays down the field, whether it be to number 12, Caden Lazel, and then sometimes Braden, Alyala sometimes have been open on those situations as well.
Well, because here's my thing is because with no timeouts left, you cannot be around the middle of the field. So if and then I don't know what type of kicker they got. Because, my thing is that if you can get yourself into a field goal range, you go in and you 22-18. So I don't know what they're going to do pretty much.
3 receivers. And the ball is going to be thrown to the outside. And Naher is going to be brought down. And looks like they're going to continue to run. 4 seconds on the clock, 3 seconds on the clock. They're not going to be able to get another playoff. And let's see if the officials say that there's 1 or any time on the clock. Are they saying at the end? So it's the end of the first half officially by the officials here. And they're looking at the clock here and asking the question. And so at the end of the first half here, it is 22-15. And again, the official is getting a nice talk to, an earful from Coach Stevenson. And, I'm just looking at it from one standpoint here. It looked like there could have been 1 second on the clock, maybe 1. But in that situation, the official said that the clock had expired. So I'm sure that's going to be a nice discussion that from the officials are having. But we're officially at halftime. It's going to be the Millwood Enrichment Foundation halftime report. We'll be right back after about a 5-minute break. This is Millwood Falcon football. Falcons up.
Sure. But why would anyone want that? The song was very convincing. Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details. You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Time is up. The IRS is in full collection mode for 2024, issuing liens, levies, and garnishments to anyone who has a past tax debt or unfiled tax returns. Don't wait till it's too late. Your paycheck and bank accounts are at risk of being seized. Call now and stop the collection process today. If you're living check to check, no matter how much you're making, you still may qualify for the Fresh Start programs offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. It's just a 5-minute call to get your options, and it's free. If you owe back taxes, have years of unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to slip, business or personal, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief while there's still time. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and tough. This veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. The call is free. Call their hotline number now, 800-246-1923. That's 800-246-1923. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-246-1923 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin ultra strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Oh no, my phone.
Hear that? It's the sound of a skater dropping her phone and smashing it on the ice. Yep, it's definitely broken. But at Verizon, we got you. Black Friday starts now. Trade in any phone, any condition from one of our top brands and get a new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus on Unlimited Ultimate and Watch 7 and Tab S9 FE 5G. That's up to $1,900 in value. So you'll save big on 3 great gifts. Hurry into Verizon this Black Friday. Service plan required for Watch and Tablet. Up to $1,900 value based on phone, watch, and tablet. Trade in and additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
Check, check, and check. That's the sound of me getting a jump start on my holiday list. But I can't take all the credit. Kohl's makes it too easy. I got my daughter a mini instant camera, my husband his favorite cologne, my sister Kookaburra by UGG slippers, and that's just the beginning. Then I got 20% off some of my other gifts. Yep, it doesn't get better than Kohl's. Select styles. Offer valid through November 23rd. Coupons do not apply to Tech, Sephora at Kohl's, and Kookaburra by UGG. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
Build up to Black Friday with savings all month long at Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select major appliances. Plus, take an additional 10% off when you buy select major appliances. And don't wait to pick up holiday inflatables under $20. Don't wait to save. In store or online now. Because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 11/6 through 12/4. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details and qualifying items while supplies last.
Did you know that 1 in 6 African-American men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer? This month, every time you purchase Gillette's family of products, they'll donate to support Movember. Whether you're looking for Gillette's Best Shave, a regimen to help prevent new shave irritation and bumps, or award-winning beard care products, every Gillette purchase can make a difference in the fight against prostate cancer. Visit pggoodeveryday.com/Movember for details. Exclusions apply.
You're listening to Millwood Football on Heart and Soul 92.1 and 1140.
Welcome to the Millwood Enrichment Foundation Halftime Report. The Millwood Enrichment Foundation is raising $25,000, and they said they're going to change that goal. They're raising $35,000 this year. That's what their goal is, to help take care of their teachers and scholarships for its students, help make a positive difference by investing in the jewel institution that is Millwood Public Schools. You can make your contribution through Cash App. Just go to your app, open it up, $ Millwood Enrich OKC. That's $ Millwood Enrich OKC. Maurice Prince and Director of Operations A. Shannon Hayes here. You know, this kind of was, if I would have told you, you know, we've got scores from all over the place, and it's not to be condescending to Crossing at all, but they came here to play tonight. That's what they've been trying to do more than anything. They've come down here to make a statement. They've come out here to play this game tonight. Overall, they've come out swinging, and every opportunity that the Falcons have left on the table, they've decided to seize it on their own. I mean, they're taking all the pawns off the board if they can find it. They are cutting. They have made plays on the defensive side of the ball. They've made plays also on the offensive side of the ball. They've done everything they can to stay in this game, and Coach Hayes, it's been impressive for what the Knights have done thus far.
Oh, yeah, the Knights came to play. The Knights are saying we're getting ready for next week to host a game. I mean, that's pretty much what they came in here. They have confidence. They have definitely done their scouting, and pretty much they have shut us down. I mean, they made us one-dimensional, and that one dimension, we've gotten lucky a few times, but now it's cost us.
Right, in many aspects. And the numbers tell and spark that as well. Folks, you just watched an offensive game plan that debuted 446 yards of total offense in the first half of this game. Millwood had 257 yards of that offense, 218 on the ground. 218 in the air, 39 on the ground. Where Crossings, on the other hand, 167 in the air, 22 on the ground. and for 189 yards of total offense. So Millwood has been 68 yards better in the first half, and the scoreboard leads right into that. I mean, when you look at the score, and the score is a 7-point game, you're looking at it, the stats match up. So it comes down to your keys to the game, the team that limits the mistakes. We've made the mistakes at the wrong time. Crossing has cashed those checks. If they were writing checks going to the bank, I'm saying, hey, man, they cashing a whole lot of checks. The other thing, when it says tackle in space, there's been times where both teams have not done that well. Millwood has done it just enough. But the one thing that we talked about most is the lack of physicality from the offensive line. The Knights are winning in the trenches in this game thus far. Yeah, they definitely are. And so the thing about this is that, well, I said a good thing is that Millwood gets the ball coming out in the second half. So I think that drive, you have to make some adjustments. We've got to establish that run game. We can't depend on having the passing attack be our only arsenal. We won't go deep in the playoffs if you can't get that situated. So they really, this is a gut check. I don't know. There's probably not going to be much paint left on the walls in that locker room when Coach Franklin gets done. But I guarantee you, there's got to be a lot of waking up for seniors on down. You've got to be able to get in those trenches. You got to start winning that line. I think kudos needs to go to Jacob Stevenson and the Crossing coaching staff. When the lead jumped out to 22-8, it felt at that moment that the Falcons might have got going here, and the Falcons would take off, and this game would possibly get out of reach here. It had that feel, and then all of a sudden, the momentum just started to stop, and the Knights kept hanging in there. They were taking the punches. They weren't giving up. The Falcons made enough mistakes, and then that pick six happened, and just like that, the Knights automatically got energetic, they started believing, and then from that point on, this has been a different game. Well, and like I say, defense. I mean, applaud the defense. They only held them to 8 points in that first half. The other one was a defensive, interception. So defense, even though they're having to be on the field a little more because our offense is not executing, but really we got to make our corrections on our offense. Defense would have held 8 points. We could have really walked into halftime 22-8. Right, you're right. And the other part about it is I want to just say, again, Coach Stevenson's guys, I told everybody, the record was 5-4. If you get to looking at the record, and Coach Franklin said it in pregame, he said, be the naysayers, don't pay attention to all that other stuff. In other words, somebody always wanted to tell you how easy of a game that you're going to have. And I have to give, anytime a team shows resilience, I'm impressed. When the Falcons executed that perfect onside kick, again, it didn't turn into points. The Knights turned it away. So the Knights hanging in this game has been extremely impressive to me. Oh, yeah, very impressive. I mean, like I say, they have come to play. I mean, they are not coming to believe that, man, Millwood's going to beat us bad. I mean, they've come in. They've done their homework. They know us. They live in our backyard. I mean, we're neighbors. I mean, so it's like they're pretty much in a situation where, hey, we want to play, and if we see your weaknesses, we're gonna execute that. Because if you notice, I mean, they basically have exploited that on some times. They got that one basically a quarterback. I mean, I'm sorry, that very long pass play. Yes. And then they executed a touchdown. But then our offense is what really has been the stifling part. That's really, when you're averaging the points that you have, when you even look at their 5-4 record, defense is what pretty much they didn't have, apparently, in order to make it to those games. But guess what? They brought defense tonight. They did bring defense tonight. Mm-hmm. And one other thing is that Coach Hayes is bringing out, by making us one-dimensional, meaning the Falcons, the clock stays in their favor. When you can't establish the running game, one of the great things about a strong running game is it eats away at the clock. Your opponent can't get going, doesn't have as much opportunity because you're taking away. Then you make them one-dimensional because the time factor flows against them. Mm-hmm. So that's another factor that needs to play in. So the time of possession, all those things, when you're going passing all the time, the clock stops. When the clock stops, you give the other team another opportunity. We're going to hit our final break of halftime. We'll come back and talk about individual performances and look at individual numbers on the other side of the break. This is Millwood Falcon Playoff Football, brought to you tonight by SSM Health at St. Anthony, Bank First, and, of course, the Millwood and Richmond Foundation Halftime Report. It will continue after this.
take a break and then get back to more Millwood Falcons football. Only on Heart and Soul 92.1 and 1140.
Time is up. The IRS is in full collection mode for 2024, issuing liens, levies, and garnishments to anyone who has a past tax debt or unfiled tax returns. Don't wait till it's too late. Your paycheck and bank accounts are at risk of being seized. Call now and stop the collection process today. If you're living check to check, no matter how much you're making, you still may qualify for the Fresh Start programs offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. It's just a 5-minute call to get your options, and it's free. If you owe back taxes, have years of unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to sleep better, business or personal, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief while there's still time. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and tough. This veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. The call is free. Call their hotline number now, 800-246-1923. That's 800-246-1923. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-246-1923 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
Oklahoma City, join us this Saturday at David Stanley Mitsubishi. Heart and Soul 92.1 and 1140 and your man, the Wild Child Scott Wright, will be in the building live from 1 to 3 with music, free food, drinks, and your chance to win tickets to some of the hottest events in Oklahoma City. You know this. Come out and get a great deal on that car, truck, or SUV you've had your eyes on at the price you've had your mind on. Let's hang out this Saturday, 1 to 3 p.m. at David Stanley Mitsubishi, 601 West I-240 Service Road. I will see you there.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hey there, sports fans. Don't let the flu bench you on game day. Protect yourself and your loved ones by getting your flu shot, washing your hands regularly, and covering your sneezes and coughs so you can keep cheering on your favorite team. Visit oklahoma.gov/health/fightflu to find a flu shot clinic near you. Skip the flu, not the fun.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
Back at the Millwood Enrichment Foundation Halftime Report, Maurice Prince and Director of Operations A. Shannon Hayes joining me tonight, and I'm enjoying calling this game with him. It's not the game that we thought it might be, but this game has been exciting on so many levels. It's been entertaining on so many levels. The second half is going to be telling. Looking at the halftime stats, if you're a Falcon fan, there are some eye-popping numbers. There's some beautiful numbers, and then there are some ugly numbers. That's that old cheer. Was it "You ain't got no alibi, it's ugly"? that's some of those numbers. So yeah. First of all, for the beautiful numbers, Xavier Thompson, 3 catches, 118 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dominic Martin, 1 catch, 80 yards and a touchdown. So you've got some beautiful plays going on here overall. C.J. Turnbull, 7 of 13 for 218 yards and 3 touchdowns overall in this game. It has been sensational seeing some of the plays that the Falcons have been able to hit. But the numbers that is ugly comes from the running department. C.J. Turnbull, not 2 rushes for 25 yards, but I can tell you Falcon fans, I've been doing this all season long. There hasn't been a game all year long where C.J. Turnbull is your leading rusher. He's a strong contributor, and when the running game is going, he's extremely effective in that. But Anthony Key, 7 carries, 9 yards. And then Deshaun Buford, 1 carry, 5 yards. That's how we got to the total of the 39 yards overall in the first half. But that number there tells me a lot. And when I look at that, we're talking, you and I have been talking off mic quite a bit, that sequence of plays that took place right before the end of the first half that led to a turnover and down that opened the opportunity for Crossings to try to have a chance to basically tie this game right before the end of the first half was those 3 consecutive running plays using variations of Anthony Keys, and the Falcons weren't able to get a yard.
Yeah, that spoke volumes. I mean, that really spoke volumes to really, I was talking about the running game, you know, pretty much up to that point, is that we're just not winning in the trenches. And so it's kind of like you've got to fix those problems. There's various different ways. I mean, you know, I can tell you a bunch of them, but it's like if we can't run the ball, then we're depending on being one-dimensional, and if we're not on rhythm one-dimensional, I mean, you're asking CJ, who really was out for 3 to 4 weeks, to come back, and then the week that he had last week, there wasn't much throwing going on. So now you turn around and you're going against a good team here, and you're having to basically on the pattern, and his balls are hot, you know, and they're high. They were high last week on the first couple of plays that they had, you know, and he doesn't get enough rhythms. But you've got to be able to establish a running game. I mean, you can't go deep in the playoffs if you're one-dimensional. So there are, to me, kudos to the defense, though. I'm glad the defense is pretty much helping us to where, you know, they're sustaining it. But at the end of the day, we got to fix those problems. If we walk out with a win tonight, we got to fix those problems.
And there are other ways to get Anthony Keys the ball in spaces in the short passing game and the spread offense. You can do so many variations. So what do you think we should be able to expect from Coach Franklin in the second half of this one?
Well, I'm hoping that, like I say, with the offensive line pulling, ensuring that they can be able to get maybe some double teams, utilizing some blocking better and then even CJ. I think CJ, since he is our leading rusher, that pretty much allowing him 1, 2, 3 and go, you know, and looking for those open gaps intentionally. I mean, you know, you can pretty much be able to shift everybody to the left side of the field, and he takes off on the right. I mean, you know, so there are some things that I think you can do there, and maybe that will hopefully, because on the other side, when you're talking about, was it Bennett Baker, the quarterback? He is a dual quarterback, and he's pretty much what C.J. May is going to have to step up and do tonight. You know, he's going to have to be dual. He's going to have to continue not to force the ball, get some positive yards, keep the clock running, and keeping our offense in a good rhythm.
Right, and that's the one thing that you're going to say. We've had big plays, but we haven't had sustaining drives. One of the staple points have been of the Falcons all year long has been able to, whether the ball has been inside your own 20 or the ball has been at the opponent's 20-yard line, the Falcons have found a way to execute on so many different levels. Right now, as you have said several times, and I think it's not necessarily worth repeating, but it's worth acknowledging, we have been, you know, big play one-dimensional all night. So the intermediate stuff needs to get done in the second half, and we have to find a way, honestly, to shorten the game. I think the most important possession of this game is really the first one of the third quarter. I think the longer you keep the Knights believing that it could really work against you in the fourth quarter. I think I mentioned it early on. You don't want to be in a playoff game where you have to rely on a call or rely on certain other things to work in your favor to win the game, because it does happen in your favor sometimes, but often more than not, it doesn't.
It doesn't. And really and truly, we, knowing this team and throughout the year and how they've played, I mean, when you go back and to me, the last really complete game that they had was Jones. Of course, you know that following week, you know, CJ gets hurt. So that throws everything out of rhythm, you know, and you got to pick your best wide receiver, and he has to come quarterback. I mean, so that throws everything out, and you got to be able to adjust and continue to pursue on. Yeah. And now you're in a situation, now you're trying to get back to that, or people saw some things in those weeks that you were out. Oh, we know how to be able to do some things and execute. So now you've got to say, all right, well, what do we need to work on? I mean, even from last week, I mean, Perry, they shut us down. I mean, 6-0. I mean, so there was some offensive woes. Even though we in the Mud Bowl, there still was some opportunities that we just couldn't execute offensively. And once again, defensive wins games. And, thankful for that. That allowed us to get out of that for a win. So I think in this one here, this first series for us is key. If we can establish the run, if we can keep them on their toes, or where they pretty much are not knowing what to anticipate and expect, I think that will be a great series for Millwood, and they can come out and then defense can continue to do what they're doing.
Right. Now, it could also happen the Falcons could come out, put up a big play and score. And to me, in this game, that's not necessarily your best friend. I think to keep the momentum going, you need a long, sustaining drive where you establish your identity. The other team knows what it is and know that there's nothing they can do to stop it. I think that's
and you wear down your opponent. And that's really the thing about it. If our defense has to continue to keep being on the field, then they're going to eventually wear them out. Versus the other way, we need to keep their defense, and we need to continue to pound the ball. We've got to be able to establish blocks. We need to keep hats on, and we need to hit. We need to have a sustained drive down this field.
You're saying, basically, for those listening at home, if you see the intensity in Coach Hayes' eyes, it's a hard hat and lunch pail second half here. That's what you need.
Absolutely.
So, in other words, you eating a steak dinner with no fork and no knife. You got to get after it. All right, set to go. Kickoff is away, and it's going to be fielded right there at about the 10-yard line, out to the 20, finding some space at the 25, dancing around at the 30, breaking through into the secondary. He's at the 50. He's at the 40-yard line. He's still running, and it's going to be brought down in crossing territory right there at about the crossing 20-yard line. What a run on the return there by Bryce Morris, the freshman.
Oh, man, did you see that juke he put on? Oh, I mean, basically he left him in his shoes. I mean, that was textbook of a run. Great run by Morris. I mean, like I say, good young man, and just proud that he's doing a good job here for us.
Bryce, and again, Coach Franklin, one of the things he will do is if the starters aren't doing it, he will go down the roster. So to work now. C.J. Turnbull with 3 receivers, trips to the right. Going to hand the ball to Anthony Keys. Nothing doing in the middle of the field. Door's going to be closed there by Bennett Bell that time. Nothing doing, basically nothing.
Nothing.
So, but that huge run and the field position automatically by Bryce Morris is what we're going to be talking about, getting the Falcons started in just tremendous plus territory. Ball at their own at the crossing 21-yard line. You're talking about a return on that play of 68 yards. 4 receivers, trips to the right side. Looks like Buford in the backfield now. 5 seconds. They're going to swing it to the outside. Xavier Thompson cuts to the inside, and Xavier's going to be brought down. That was very close to a face mask there. Going to be brought down at about the 17-yard line, gain of 3.
One of your keys was about open space tackling, and that was a good display of that because, I mean, he could probably still be running for a first down. So
a gain of 4 yards that time, setting up third down and what will be 6 yards to go. So third down. And Xavier Thompson ends up with it. It's going to be down inside the 15 at the 14-yard line. So let's see what Coach Franklin decides to do here, because it's going to be 4th down following Xavier Thompson's run down to the 15, which would be a gain of 3. The Falcons are lining up to go for it. Anthony Keys in the backfield next to C.J. Turnbull with 4 receivers. 14 seconds on the play clock. 9:55 to go in the third. C.J. motions something to the outside. He's going to flick it out in open space, and the pass is dropped. The pass is dropped. Pass was intended for Carter Ray that time on a quick slant. He had it, and if he had caught it, it would have been enough for the first down. But needless to say, turnover on downs this time. And it will be 1st and 10, crossing from their own 14-yard line. So, again, the Falcons have not executed very well in certain key moments of the game, and this one they're going to fall a little short again. So 9:44 to go, the Crossing Knights getting their first opportunity in the second half. 4 receivers, 2 receivers stacked on either side. Ball is snapped, and Baker is going to pull it down, and Baker's in open field. Baker's at the 50. Baker's at the 40-yard line. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's still on his feet. He's going to take it into the end zone for a Knight touchdown. There are no flags. He's going to take it to the house for a touchdown. Unbelievable. All the way to the house he goes. He found a crease on a simple quarterback zone read play, looking like Vince Young on that Texas old offense years ago, finding the crease and taking it to the house there, Coach.
I mean, and he had some speed there because one of our defensive backs had the angle and still wasn't able to catch him on that. So some poor tackling on that. But like I say, that's what you didn't want, but he's a dual quarterback.
So now we're going to get to see Caden Lazel go ahead and kick the extra point here, and it will tie things up. Trouble with the snap, and that's going to be blocked. So nonetheless, the Falcons still lead following a great block of the extra point attempt, 22-21. We'll be right back. You're listening to Millwood Falcon Football, sponsored by SSM Health St. Anthony, the Millwood Enrichment Foundation, and Bank First.
Oklahoma City, we're live right now during the Millwood Falcons broadcast. And today we have Mr. Milo Wilson. Mr. Wilson, how are you doing?
I'm great, and yourself, sir?
Give us that great title of yours representing Millwood in what capacity?
I am the Millwood Enrichment Foundation president, also the Millwood Oklahoma City School Board vice president.
Wonderful. Well, right now I know you represent the Enrichment Foundation, raising money. The goal is $25,000. Tell me, what is that $25,000 going to go towards?
I'm going to make you a promise. Each dollar that we raise will go towards our scholarships, towards our students, as well as our teacher needs.
Well, if they would like to make a donation of any kind, where should they go right now?
Right now, Cash App Millwood Enrich OKC. That is Millwood Enrich OKC, MILLWO.
Ball's going to be caught at the 9-yard line by Xavier Thompson. Xavier's trying to find a crease to the outside. He reverses field position, and he's still on his feet. It's going to be forced out of bounds just shy of the 30-yard line. And it has been, Coach, you and I were talking about it, that when the Falcons turn it over in plus territory, most teams are happy just to get a first down to extend drives. But that's when Crossing has been at their best. Turnover on downs, you give them the ball. They have all the momentum in the world. And here's the thing about it. They're starting to believe.
They are. They definitely are. I mean, and the confidence is getting higher and higher and higher. And like I say, if we can't do anything here, we're going to continue to give them that momentum.
So the ball's going to be spotted at the Falcon 29-yard line. That's where they set up shop, 1st and 10. Xavier. Cardi Rare comes in motion across the formation. This time they're setting up a screen. They're going to throw the ball to the outside, and the pass is going to be intercepted and going to be cut down. And Drake Manuel catches the errant pass by C.J. Turnbull, who really wanted to throw the screen pass. He looked it off and then short-armed it to the left, and it's intercepted by the Knights. And so now the Knights have the ball in plus territory. For the first time today, the Falcons turn it over in their own backyard. So the ball will be spotted at the 24-yard line.
Yeah, and I think, like I say, when you get into a situation where your urgency, you start making some decisions that, you're trying to force the ball. And that was one of them apparent throws, I believe, that he just probably should have tucked and run or just threw the ball away, really.
The Knights are coming here with a chance to take the lead on this possession. Going to throw the ball to the outside, and Cam Parker makes the reception for a gain of 8 yards as the ball will be caught inside the 20 down to the 17-yard line.
They're gaining 8 yards on first down. They're in plus territory. They're confident.
Second down and 3. 8:50 to go. The Falcons lead by 1, But now the momentum is all on the side of the Knights, and right now the Falcons are going to have to find a way to put their foot down on this one. Ball is snapped, and they're going to hand the ball, and somehow, some way, he sneaks through. It's going to get into the end zone for a touchdown. However, there are flags on the play. And then there's a little bit of football talk after the end of the play. So it looks like it could be holding, but I don't know. Jonah Naher somehow jumped through that defensive line and found nothing but daylight.
Yeah, there's 2 plays on the offense on there. There was a block in the back, and then I think there was also a holding on offense as well. It depends on which one we're going to take.
So the penalty will be against the Knights here. And what was that, holding?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a holding penalty against the Knights, and that's going to back the ball up. Let's see where they spot it. They're going to spot the ball at the 20. So it'll be 2nd down and 6 when it's all said and done, based upon the spot of the foul. 4 receivers, 2 stacked on either side. Shotgun formation for Bennett Baker. Baker is going to throw the ball to the outside, and Carter makes Cam Parker makes the reception down inside the 10, down to the 12. It will be another Knight first down. And again, we went for defended the pass and not the player on that one. It seems to be, at least from my vantage point.
But they got 8 yards the last time they ran that same play. And they're going back to him again because he's sitting right there in that zone and being able to pick him apart.
So 1st and goal now. Baker's dancing to the outside this time. Bennett Baker, the quarterback. He's going to take the ball inside the 5 down to the 3. So again, chunk yards each time they go. So it will be 2nd and goal now from the 3. 7:28 to go, 22-21.
And the playbook is opening for them.
Ball is snapped. Baker going to throw the ball this time. No, he's not. He's going to throw it to the outside, and that pass is incomplete. He tried to get the ball in the hand that time of Caden Lazel.
And his line is getting confidence because now he's getting even more time.
Thank you. I was about to mention that. I said, as I was saying, I thought he threw it. He was deciding to throw it. He still had the ball. Mm-hmm. So you're talking about 4 or 5 seconds. So he's getting some solid play on the interior from his offensive line, giving him all types of time. And it's one of those type of things. You didn't know you were good, and then you hung in there with a team, and then all of a sudden your confidence starts to grow. Then you become world beaters. Mm-hmm. 4 receivers this time, and before things get started, we got a timeout being called here by Jacob Stevenson. And the Falcons are going to take advantage of this one here too. And how important is this? He's willing to use the timeout with 7:12 to go in the 3rd. We'll be right back. This is Millwood Falcon football. Falcons still lead by 1, 22-21. Sponsored by Bank First, Millwood Enrichment Foundation, and SSM Health at St. Anthony.
Oklahoma City, I'm Miles Perry, and who wants to win $10,000? First of all, you got to be a high school senior in the Oklahoma City Metro. Second of all, you got to hit that QR code down at the bottom. Third of all, this is brought to you by Love's Travel Stops at Country Stores and Perry Publishing Broadcasting. And don't forget Superprint.
Injuries don't wait for business hours. Now you can be seen 24/7 for sports injuries. Whether you have a sprain or a broken bone, at the SSM Health Bone and Joint Injury Clinic at 13401 Northwestern.
November for details. Exclusions apply.
Back to live action here. Staring down a 3rd down and goal from the 3. The Knights called the timeout, and now they're going to go to work, and this time Baker's going to run for the pylon and runs it to the end zone, but there is another flag on the play, and it's going to be holding. The official wasted no time on the call. So it will be 3rd and goal still. It's going to move the ball back to the 13-yard line. So it was right there at the line of scrimmage where that hold was taking place. So 3rd down and 11. 7:07 to go in the third. The Knights, this is definitely 2-down territory. So if you're the Knights, I'm either going to Cam Parker to set this up, or I'm trying to go – I'm going to say this now. I might roll right and throw back.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten everything of my momentum going my way, so I might have to do a counter here. And right now, Baker's going to throw it across the middle of the field, and he's got a receiver. And the pass is incomplete.
Incomplete.
They're saying the pass is incomplete. He's trying to sell it. Caden Lazel says he had it, but the officials are saying no, pass incomplete. 4th down and 11. So right now, let's see here what the Knights decide to do, because right now they're going to go ahead and kick the field goal here. They're going to have Caden Lazel attempt it. And from the spot of it, it's going to be a 30-yard attempt from the right hash, and that kick is blocked again. And the ball's going to roll out of bounds, and the Falcons turn it away. A block at the line of scrimmage, and the Falcons make it. And then following that, there is another flag at the conclusion of the play.
Yeah, I think
this time
the coach got this one for Crossings.
Okay, so this one likely is going to be unsportsmanlike conduct. And I'm not sure if it's on the coach, but there is definitely a discrepancy. He was on the field, and that flag was thrown way high. But it looked like everything from the blocking perspective was clean, but undoubtedly something was bothering Coach Stevenson there.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just from the previous play in terms of that holding call they got maybe and thought it wasn't.
Well, maybe it was the catch that was, since there is not any instant replay there. So are we going to disregard the flag?
No, I think they gave sideline warning is what they gave them.
Okay. No, they gave something because something's marching back. So there is definitely a penalty.
Okay, so he did give him a penalty for it then. No, that's where the ball went out. Yeah.
Okay, so that is correct. So there is no penalty here, but the kick was blocked. It was blocked, and it will be down now at the 31-yard line because maybe I'm off here, but I'm not certain on the rules, so maybe somebody can clarify that for me. But if it's a block, isn't it? I thought it just goes back to the 20, even though, or are we saying that it was blocked and someone possessed it? Then I thought the ball moved to the position, but
because when the block happened, I looked at the officials and none of them were basically saying that the play was over. So they were still saying that the play was going on. So as if though one of our kids could have picked the ball up, it was still a live ball.
So if it's still a live ball, then it explains it.
Then that's when it rolled out there. And I guess that's what they're having the conversation about, to determine whether or not the rule should be at the 20 or where it was established at, or.
All right, so they're going to say the ball was established at the 31-yard line, so 1st and 10 for the Falcons now. Full house backfield now, 2 receivers split on either side. Ball is snapped, and this time running in the crease. Nothing doing again as Anthony Keys gets the carry, and it's going to lose a yard, at least a yard, looks like it's back to the 29-yard line, maybe a loss of 2. Back to the 29. So 2nd down and 12. 6:30 to go. 22-21 is the score. An unbelievable game here at the Good House on the opening round of the playoffs. The Knights, in upset-minded, trying to beat the Falcons here. But the Falcons have the ball, 2nd down and 12. And the Falcons are going to fake. And this time CJ is going to take off up the middle and not get too far, maybe back to the original line of scrimmage. CJ escapes the sack, but takes the ball out to the 31-yard line, Coach. And this is one of those type of things. We've got to find a way to manufacture some running offense at this time. And to me, you might have to do some dink and dunks, run the guy off on some wheel routes to the side or something to try and generate that. But right now, because that initial line pressure is not granting the Falcons too much on the offensive end of the ball right now. So 2 receivers stacked, ball is snapped, and going to put the ball up. Going to throw the ball deep. Has a receiver wide open. It's Xavier Thompson, who has to come back and make the catch. Be happy that he made the catch because Xavier wanted to keep running.
He did.
Xavier Thompson's going to make the catch right there at about the – it's fly, Falcons fly. It will be a first down at the 33-yard line of Crossing.
That was definitely a busted play by them, so I'm not sure why they would get one of our top receivers behind their defense.
1st and 10 for the Falcons. 3 receivers. Trips to the right. 2 backs in the backfield. 9 seconds on the play clock. Falcons got to come set. Ball is snapped. This time they're going to give it to Keys. Keys finds a crease. And Keys takes the ball down to the 25, maybe the 26-yard line. One of the better runs for Keys tonight. Have not been able to talk about real big runs for him overall tonight. Gain of 6 on the run. 2nd down and 3. The Knights are showing blitz once again. Ball is snapped. Keys finds a crease, and Keys explodes. Fly, Falcons fly. It will be a first down at the 16-yard line. A gain of 10 for Keys, and Keys is running with a little bit more fire in his step.
Well, and he's got some creases. I mean, and that's really all he needs. He's one of those backs that needs just a little bit of an open.
Ball is snapped. They give it to Keys again. Keys dances in the middle, and he gets a nice gain again. Maybe a gain, well, just a gain of a couple. Down to the 14-yard line, so a gain of 2. And Anthony Keys racking up second half yardage here. He had 9 yards in the first half of this game. 4 minutes to go in the third. Single back formation. 3 receivers, twins right. Ball is snapped. Fake it to Keys. This time, CJ makes one miss. Down to the 10, 5, goes into the end zone. Fly, Falcons fly, touchdown. CJ Turnbull gets it in on the ground for the Falcons.
The leading scorer is who? I mean, the leading rusher is basically our quarterback. And he is that extra offensive player that people they're not anticipating because they've got their eyes on Keys. They're honing in on our run, so he's got to be able to pull that ball and be able to run. And excellent execution.
All right, ball is snapped, and this time Cameron Carter tries to run up the middle, and this time it looks like the Knights are going to gang tackle him, and that 2-point conversion attempt has failed. 28-21. It's still a 1-possession game for the Knights, but the Falcons put more points on the board, something they haven't done since the early part of the second quarter. We'll be right back. This is Millwood Falcon Football, brought to you by SSM Health at St. Anthony, the Millwood and Richmond Foundation, and Bank First.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Let's get back to more Millwood High School football on Heart and Soul 92.1 and 1140.
And the Falcons score 7 plays, 69 yards for that score. As crazy as it sounds, the Falcons needed that in the worst way. They're going to reverse flip it on the kick, and this time great open field tackle by the freshman doing work again. Bryce Morris, what a great tackle in the open field there to get the stop. Nice job by the Falcons, and now some of that momentum has started to return on the Falcon side of the ball.
It has, and the offense needs to say, hey, defense, thank you for holding us in this part till we get ourselves together. So defense should come out, and if they can be able just to sustain, this would be great where we can get them turned over.
So the ball was returned out to the 23-yard line, or 22-yard line.
False start.
So false start will be the call this time against Crossing.
And that's really been Crossing's Achilles heel tonight, is penalties.
At the wrong time, and that's really slowed them down. So now you're looking at a 1st and 15 from the 17-yard line, and this is one of those situations where you don't really want to give the Falcons back the ball. Now that they've started to find themselves a little bit, you don't want to give, as they say, Big Blue an opportunity to get going again. Now going to work this time, trying to make himself small through the hole, and then there's a flag that comes in.
It looks
as
like
Bennett Baker, and it looks like that's going to be a penalty against the Falcons. And it looks like they're going to catch this time Zion Roberts. He got his hands in the air, so that usually is never a good sign.
Well, I'm wondering if it's incidental or if it's personal foul.
So if it was, so it looks like it's the big one.
Yeah, it's a first down.
Yeah, this is the personal foul type. So personal foul. We're going to move the ball out to the 34-yard line for a first down for Crossing. 3:18 to go in the third. 4 receivers, 2 stacked on either side. Single back. Ball is snapped. And trying to throw the crossing right over the middle of the field. And this time, while Baker has done a good job of creating space, he was waiting. But when he decides to go, that young man goes. He's going to take the ball out to the 39-yard line. Gain of 5. And it looked like he should have been sacked in the backfield. That's how good this kid is.
Yeah, and I'm glad to our secondary, they basically was anticipating that route coming across the middle because that was going to number 11.
Back to work again. And they're going to throw the ball deep. And not able to make the play that time is Caden Lazel, but a flag comes in. Caden draws the flag as trying to cover him on that play was extremely hard. Tyshawn Buford tried to stay on him, but it's going to be pass interference against the Falcons.
Yeah, and that's why you got to stay fundamentally sound in terms of that. You got to back up, and my thing is that we'll take the penalty if we have to versus, it's 15 yards, so instead of the catch at the 30. So we'll take what we can, but we definitely are allowing them to continue to have momentum.
So as that penalty has been assessed, it's going to be a first down for the Knights. Bennett's rolling right, and this time he unloads it onto the Crossing sideline. Pass incomplete. And another thing to put out there about Baker, he makes, when we start talking about Bennett Baker, he makes good decisions. He extends the plays, and when it's not there, he just lets it go. So, again, all the things that you want a very polished senior quarterback you expect in leadership, and he's done an outstanding job tonight. Whether they win or lose, he's been sensational.
Yeah, he definitely has.
4 receivers stacked. Baker, ball is snapped. Going to fling it to the outside, and that time, miscommunication. Drake Manuel was running the go, and Baker expected him somewhere else, and he was not there. So third down
and
10.
Mo, what they're doing is they're basically just doing misdirection and trying to catch one of the defenders to go a different direction. And so each time they're either doing if you notice, they'll do the slant route, and then they'll go back to the same type, and they'll do the 9 route. And then they'll switch it to the other side. And so that's pretty much been what they're they've been catching us on.
Going to work. This time Baker's going to decide to take off running, and this time he's going to be turned around. Great job, Yaquab. Mr. Johnson put his foot in the ground and laid a big-time hit on Bennett Baker that time. So minimum gain, and it's going to be after a gain of maybe a couple of yards down to the Millwood 44. They're going to punt this ball away and pin them, try to pin the Falcons deep.
Yeah, just be careful. Watch foot. Watch. Still got that onside fake they may want to do here. They may try something here on this 4th down.
And exactly, and I think the coaches insist on that. They bring up more help, and before they do, there's going to be a false start penalty against Crossing. That penalty is going to move the ball just a yard shy of midfield. So it will be 4th down and 13 now, but we already know the result. They're going to punt this ball away with Harry Daniels. Kick is high, end over end. And it's going to be downed
25
at the 25-yard line. So the Falcons will get it from that spot, 1st and 10. And the Falcons were able to gain a little bit of momentum on that prior possession. So to me, the most important part of that, we saw an aggressive Anthony Keys, one cut going downhill, not looking for big creases, just exploding through the holes that his offensive line made, and it set up CJ to take it in for the touchdown. The Falcons continue that identity, and things will be good for them on the outcome of this one. Back to work. 3 receivers, twins left. Going to hand the ball to Keys. Keys once again, dancing pass. Keys running with some passion. He's at the 40-yard line before he gets knocked out of bounds. Anthony Keys is heating up, folks.
Yeah, and what I liked about that last drive is I'm glad that CJ got a chance to do that touchdown, because I know them interceptions are staying with him. You know, you got to have a short-term memory in this environment, but that still lingers. So that's a good confidence building for him as well.
Gain of 16 for Anthony Keys on that play. 1st and 10. 3 receivers, twins left. 1 back in the backfield. Make that 2 back in the backfield. Buford is the H-back. CJ looks left. He's going to throw the goal right to Xavier Thompson. Xavier on the fly. Makes the catch. Makes a man miss. Dances. He's at the 20. And it's forced out of bounds. What a nice run by Xavier Thompson. Taking the ball down inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. Fly, Falcons fly. 1st down, Millwood at the 19.
That rhythm is starting to get there. So and that's amazing, because now they're single coveraging him, and which I'm not understanding why, but now they've recognized that and they're exploiting it.
Xavier Thompson racking up the passing yards. So now going to work. Anthony Keys dances. He's at the 10-5 into the end zone. Hits the pylon for the touchdown. What a job. What a play. What a run by Anthony Keys. The Falcons are running and playing with the new identity of the second half of the game, and they're imposing their will. Nice job by the Falcons on that drive. Once again, just an amazing, amazing job. Keys to the house for the touchdown. 19 yards out. And the Falcons are going to put a drive together, 75 yards worth in the making there. Coach?
Yeah, absolutely. That was probably the most impressive drive that they've had, and I'm glad that they were able to sustain back-to-back, giving their defense a chance to rest as well. So,
4 receivers, trips right. CJ's rolling right, wants to throw it, throws it against the grain, and tried to hit Xavier, but they were not on the same page. Pass incomplete.
Probably the only thing that we could have wished had happened was that clock would have been ended to where we go into this 4th quarter. So that's been the one probably Achilles heel right now, is not keeping that clock moving.
That last touchdown, or that last catch from CJ to Xavier Thompson has him just a couple of yards shy of a 200-piece tonight.
Oh, wow.
So he's had an absolutely spectacular night
for Xavier.
but
I know CJ's over 300. He should definitely be in terms of the passes he's got, because him as well as Dominique Martin in that long touchdown run that he had.
He's just a tick 298.
298. I would have said close to 398. I don't know why. I thought he was hitting almost 400. You know.
So I mean, it's been an explosive night. If it wasn't for the turnovers, this would be just an amazing night for CJ.
Absolutely.
Overall. You're talking 4 in the air, 1 on the ground. I mean, it's an amazing night. But Xavier has been the difference maker on making the plays and getting and stretching the field. And it's been one of those type of things, as you said. Can we cover that guy?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And just a hat to Xavier. Xavier has had to step up. When CJ went down, Xavier stepped up. And so
I want to go back to your comment as Denver Young's lining up to kick this ball away. You said this week that Coach Franklin was in his zone and Xavier was walking around making the comment. Can you tell everybody about that story again after this kick? Kick is away, and it is going to go out of bounds. So it will be an illegal procedure, and it will be excellent field position for crossing.
Yeah, so, Coach Franklin, when he gets to playoffs, he gets even more intense. And so Xavier came up to him the first practice, and he's like, Coach, we got this. I got you. And showing, because he said, I've been in this program. I know what you're wanting, and I'll make sure that we do what we need to do. Great leadership, great senior. This is it. This is his last hurrah. And so just proud of the leadership that he's displaying in terms of trying to keep his team together. And many times throughout the year has kind of been that glue when other things have kind of fallen short, or injury has made him step into roles he's not comfortable with possibly,
Coach, after this play, can you give us a scoreboard update of some of the games going on across 2A tonight in the 2A1 bracket? Ball is snapped. Bennett Baker's going to put it up. Baker's going to throw it ball deep, has a receiver open, and that pass is deflected. Pass was intended for Drake Manuel on that play.
So Marlowe is winning 21-14.
Oh, that's been a long climb for them. Chisholm has had most of the momentum, a majority of that game.
Yeah, and Chandler is up 30. Well, it's final with Chandler and Hugo 36-0.
So 36-0. So Chandler advances to the second round, and actually that's an important detail because the winner of this game will be playing Chandler.
And so if we're the winner of it, we will host that game.
4 receivers, 2 stacked on either side. Ball is snapped. Bennett Baker is going to take off again. A nice job this time closing the window. Yaquab shutting it down after a gain of actually no gain on the play.
Yeah, and they're not over pursuing it, and that's the one thing sometimes our speed can kind of be our Achilles heel because they try to tag it. So basically he's waiting for him to come around, and then he's hitting that gap. And so he's smart enough now to break down and not go completely in one mode to where he can be able to adjust. And so he was able to get that. So glad he's adjusting on his speed and his technique.
3rd down and 10. 2 receivers stacked again, and now we're going to go to work. They're going to fake it. Going to throw the ball deep. He tries to hit a receiver, and the catch is incomplete, intended for Caden Lazel. So incomplete pass on that. So 4th down and 10.
And we still got 17 seconds in the third quarter.
So, yeah, again, that passing attack does that. And so a conversation going on down there between the head official and, of course, quarterback Bennett Baker.
Yeah, I think he wanted pass interference on that call. But this time he didn't impede Lizo. He just pretty much put his hands up and wasn't any contact.
So snap is away. Snap and kick is away, I should say. And Xavier Thompson, who picks it up at the 23-yard line, dances at the 25 before he finally goes down right there at about the 25 or 26-yard line. And a little bit of talking going on at the end of the play. And so now, just a little bit of football. That's what we do. Just a little bit of football. Everybody always has a lot to say. Hey, man, you want to go out to eat after the game? I'm not sure that's what the exact conversation was.
Well, it may have been wings or a burger,
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, and sometimes those conversations can get a little heated.
Mm-hmm. They can. And so, like, right now, the Falcons have the momentum. So you have more to lose in terms of getting into that situation. They want to get into your head, and then you start making bad choices that can eventually be a landslide where you look up and we're deep in our territory, and interception and whatever else can occur from that.
It looks like we got a personal foul penalty here. Is that what we got going on?
I didn't even see no flag.
So we have okay, yeah, it is right there at 48-yard line or at midfield. So if it's about the incident that took place over here, that's kind of crazy. So that's kind of crazy. So as it stands right now, the ball would have been returned to the 31-yard line, but the penalty is going to back some things up. And I'm not talking about juveniles way either. Going to back that down inside the 20, back to the 16-yard line.
Oh, he called a holding. He did not call personal foul.
Okay. So they're going to recall holding on the return.
Mm-hmm. And they took it from the spot of the foul, and that's where they marked it back from.
So the ball is what, at the 16?
Yeah, about the 16-yard line.
All right. So going to work. Anthony Keys into the open field. Keys going to be brought down inside the 35-yard line of Crossing. Anthony Keys is completely heating up. And what I like about Keys as the third quarter comes to an end is he is juiced. Don't talk about nothing else. There's still work to be done.
Yeah, that was a great one. Great cutback. He was able to see that open lane on his cutback, and that's really, like I say, not only Keys, but his offensive line is starting to stay on their blocks longer so he can be able to get it. Because with Keys being so small, it's kind of hard for you to be able to see him when he's in that pack. And so he's explosive, and just great run for him and a great way to end that third quarter going into the fourth. We just got to finish it. You got to continue to finish this to where they can be able to be prepared, because next week's going to definitely not be an easy run as well with Chandler. So we definitely have to look at this, and I think we could continue this with a good completion of a touchdown. I think that'll be a great.
Anthony Keys, as we get ready to start the fourth quarter, had 9 first-half yards. He has run for 103. And he's run for 103. He now has 112 on the night.
That's not bad.
So, when you start talking about the Falcons and what they've been able to accomplish, that one-dimensional stuff.
And that was in the third quarter alone, 103.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's very impressive.
So going to work now, 3 receivers, and they're going to hand the ball off to Keys, and Keys is on fire. The Keys runs to the outside. It's going to get another Falcon first down inside the 20. Falcons fly for a first down. It will be at the 21-yard line, and Anthony Keys is continuing to rack them up down to the 21-yard line. All right, going to work now. 11:46 to go in the game. Falcons in control right now, going for more. 3 receivers, twins to the outside. Anthony Keys dances in the middle of the field this time. Only gets a couple.
But here you notice now that the run is starting to open up. Now they're putting more in the box. There's single coverage out here on the side with Xavier Thompson. I wouldn't be shocked if we see a slant or go route over here in terms of him.
Right, and I'm sure Drake Manuel is being prepared for that. He's the one covering Xavier Thompson on this play. The Knights are showing blitz. Ball is snapped. This time they ball faked and going to Xavier Thompson in the end zone. Xavier had it in his hand and he dropped it, but you called it, Coach. You called it all the way. Well read. 3rd down and 9. And this time, if I'm doing that, I'm going to run the corner, but then I'm breaking it in. I'm running hard and then running straight for the goalpost. That's where I'm running.
I would have gone for the slant route. I would not have gone for the go route, just for a quick little hitch.
The pylon, that corner.
Because he's already given him 5-6 yard space. Look at the respect that he's giving him right now. You've still got time to cut in where he won't interfere with that.
8 seconds on the play clock right now. 3 receivers, twins right. Before things get started, it looks like the Falcons are going to call for time, and we will take it here as well. This is Millwood Falcon Football, sponsored by SSM Health at St. Anthony, the Millwood Enrichment Foundation, and Bank First. We will be right back.
Did you know that 1 in 6 African American men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer? This month, every time you purchase Gillette's family of products, they'll donate to support Movember. Whether you're looking for Gillette's Best Shave, a regimen to help prevent new shave irritation and bumps, or award-winning beard care products, every Gillette purchase can make a difference in the fight against prostate cancer. Visit pggoodeveryday.com/Movember for details. Exclusions apply.
Let's get back to more Millwood High School football on Heart and Soul 92.1 and 1140.
And Lady Momentum has found her way courting back to the Millwood side of the field. And now, for the sake of the Knights, they need to stop to try and curtail the momentum and bring it back their way. But the time is going to become their enemy here, more so even than the Falcons scoring, because there's only going to be so many opportunities left in the game. However, 3rd down and 9, everything's in their favor. And this time CJ's going to put it up, throwing it to the corner. And the catch is going to be incomplete. Incomplete. Coach Franklin don't like that. It looks like it was close as Dominic Martin ran a beautiful route, but that pass was incomplete.
Yeah, the pass was kind of a little short. I think if he could have got over to his right shoulder, I think it would have been a really perfect pass. But when you're doing almost 300 yards passing, I'm not going to be disappointed if you miss a few.
You missed a couple.
Yeah, you missed a couple. That's okay.
So 4th down and 9, and the Falcons are going to go ahead and roll the dice. 10:55 to go. Now, they got 7 seconds on the play clock. The Falcons have got to get this set up. So now Anthony Keys is lined up as a receiver this time. Ball is snapped. CJ's going to put it up. CJ looking across the middle. He's rolling right. He's rolling right. He's looking. He decides to take off, and he will be brought down, and they will not be able to convert this. Turnover on downs. It will be Crossing football. Looks like they're going to spot the ball at the 19-yard line. CJ looking for some space. No one was open on the play. Good coverage by the Knights on the play. So 1st down and 10 for them from the 19-yard line.
Yeah.
I think what they really wanted, and because you had to rush the play, I don't think everybody was running the correct route tree.
Okay, I was wondering because, I mean, that middle was wide open. I mean, and I think that's pretty much you should have basically had a 5-7 yards curl. I mean, right there, sit.
Yeah, but CJ did the one thing they tell you not to do. He rolled to the right side, and it cut off, half the field. And that pass is incomplete this time. They tried to get the ball in the hands that time of Jonah Naher. Pass incomplete. When you roll to one side of the field, always remember as a quarterback, you are cutting off half the field. If you stay in the middle, everything a part of the field is wide open when you roll right. So when you say the middle of the field was open, you're absolutely right. But he couldn't get to it because he's rolling away from that area.
Correct. But as a wide receiver, an experienced receiver, you roll to the same side with your quarterback.
If you notice, he was in the scramble.
Because the guy that was the watcher that was watching the quarterback, he came up and even made more space to it. So, he's got to make a decision. And when you don't have that, it's almost like, what do you call that, your safety route. I mean, you're outside where you can be able to have someone there as an extra outlet. It's like that should be also an opportunity because Crossings have been able to do it a few times. When Baker pulls that ball down, he goes to running. He's got also the option to still be able to kind of throw.
Right. So Baker this time with 4 receivers, 2 stacked on either side. Going to swing the ball to the outside to Naher, and Naher will get a gain back to the 20-yard line. So getting some of that real estate they gave up on before the false start penalty. So the ball will be spotted at the 20-yard line following the pass. So by gain of 6, so 3rd down and about 9 to go. 10-12 to go in the contest. Ball on the right hash. 15 seconds on the play clock. Falcons substitute now. So we've got 4 receivers now. Single back. Naher comes out of the backfield. They're going to swing it over to him. And that pass is incomplete this time. Bennett had to try and throw it away. And that time he put a little bit too much air underneath it.
If
so
you
4th
had
down and 9.
Cam Carter coming at you,
I might put a little loft on it.
I think I would. I would want to play for another day, or another down.
9:51 to go. And now they're going to allow Harry Daniels to go ahead and punt this ball away. Xavier Thompson drifts back toward midfield to receive it. Low, short kick, and it bounces out inside of the crossing 40-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 39.
And I think we're going to get a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty to add on to it.
So it looks like the penalty is going to take place after the kick, and it is face mask against this time is going to go against
77 for the kicking team.
Wow. So that face mask penalty will march the ball inside the 35-yard line. Inside the 30, he keeps walking it down. And he's going to stop at the 26, or make that the 24-yard line. So after that penalty, so 1st and 10 from the 24. Going to work this time. They're going to hand the ball off to Anthony Keys. Keys finds the crease, cuts up the field, hits the Jets. Fly, Falcons fly, touchdown. Anthony Keys taking it to the house.
I think we can say things are starting to get a little bit out of hand now. But, you know, it's good that they continued even through the adversity. They came back from the mistakes. In a good test from first round. You know, if there was any doubts or things we didn't have a good test, I mean, it's.
And now rolling right, CJ hits, and the catch. I thought he had enough forward progress, but I guess they're going to say that the 2-point conversion is no good, although Carter Ray did catch the ball.
Yeah, he caught the ball, but his momentum of coming back from the ball, he was out of the end zone, and so didn't get to make that last little yard. He put a little more ump on him. He may connect, you know, get a couple more pounds on him.
So the 2-point conversion attempt fails, and the Falcons have only had one successful 2-point conversion tonight, or maybe two successful conversions tonight. But the lead is 40-21. 9:38 to go in the game. The Falcons are officially up by 19 points right now. And what a difference this has made when you start looking at it from the standpoint overall of the scoring and how the game is set up, because the Falcons have outscored the Knights in the second half of this game 18-6. So the Falcons, Denver Young set to kick this ball away. We already know who the next week's opponent will be. We have yet to firmly secure that it will be the Falcons. However, the return will be marked at the 26-yard line, and that's where the Knights will set up shop 1st and 10.
And old Keys is in on the tackle. Makes the touchdown, and then goes down and tackles.
A man's job is never done.
It's never done, never done.
So the ball was at the 19-yard line and returned all the way to the 26 this time.
You know, and I'm glad that we have shortened the playoffs, because you have a lot of small schools where kids play both sides of the ball and on special teams. So now,
health-wise, I mean, you know, as you have been for so long, an advocate for player safety, and the catch was going to be made. Was that catch made by a big man?
I think Cam Parker. I think that's Cam Parker had that catch.
Okay, that is Cam Parker. He looks just like a lineman, so it's kind of hard when he gets caught up in the middle of the field. And he's gonna get a gain of 3 out to the 29. But player safety has to be a concern, and that was one of the reasons I'm sure that some of this was done, because 2A was playing more games than any other division in football. Deep throw this time. Pass incomplete, intended on the outside for Drake Manuel.
Yeah, and I don't know why Baker didn't pull and keep running. He had some real estate in front of him where he could have pretty much got good positive yards on that and a possible first down for sure.
Well, this is the time of the game when you've been a good player and you've been a great player for the team. Sometimes you take a play off here and there, and it just, for that one particular moment, just the wrong decision came to play. I mean, everything was different for this team almost, right at the end of the first half. Bennett Baker rolls left. Is going to fire the ball down the field, and the pass is going to be caught. Unbelievable. Caden Lazel is going to take it all the way into the end zone for a touchdown. No flags on the play. Caden Lazel found a way to make a play as Bennett Baker rolled left and at the last second threw it down the sideline. I mean, hey, I'm telling you now, this young man has escapability. The play is never over for Baker.
And see, that's kind of like he rolled to that side and he kept his eyes up, and Lazel's been on every. I think Lazel's got all the long catches for all night and the interception. So he's been on both sides of the ball.
So now they're going to go for 2. As it stands now, it's a 71-yard touchdown play, and then into the end zone. Guys get tangled up in the end zone, and there is no flag on that play. There was a lot of contact down there.
Yeah, and Cam Parker, actually, he initiated the contact. And so if to me, I mean, he pushed off and still was able to, and the ball wasn't catchable either. So
8:58 to go. Normally we take a break, but I'm going to stay here one more time because as I look again, just as soon as you think you have a little bit of space, you look up and then you realize the lead is only 13.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking 8.5 minutes to go in the game. It's not over yet, sir.
It's not over. It's not over.
When you get an opportunity, want to take a look at some of the other scores tonight. How is good old Washington doing over there?
Washington is winning. Last time I know it was 42-0, and that was the final score, 42-0.
42-0. So Washington beat Perry.
Correct. So if you're filling your brackets out there, you can go ahead and we can start giving you matchups for next week. So if it looks like that Perry, Washington will play was going to play the winner out of. They're going to play Kiefer next week, and then you got Metro.
Onside kick attempt, and the ball's going to go out of bounds. The young man Bryce Morris was not able to field that. So you got Washington and Kiefer.
Mm-hmm. And then you got Metro, Christian, and Jones at the bottom.
So Metro, Christian, and Jones on the other end of the spectrum into the second round.
And then Marlowe is going to play Kingston on the other side.
So Marlowe and Kingston. So if I'm not mistaken, we are the only game in 2A1 still active.
Yep.
So 9:38 on a Friday night on a game that has a lot of passing on it. It's not something that you overlook. So onside kick attempt. Anthony Keys is going to dance in the middle of the field this time, not get too far.
Here's where we get another sustained drive and pretty much just get some time off the clock and finish with a touchdown. And maybe go into a little bit of a prevent defense while defense stays behind number 12. Find out where he's at.
Find out where he is for the exact same reason. You better know where some of the Falcon great players are at the same time. So 2nd down and 9 and 4, things get started. They blow the action dead because it is a false start penalty. So that's going to move the ball back to the 43-yard line. Second down and 14 now. 7:53 to go in the game as it stands. And once we have established that back and forth, that this, this crossing team, as Anthony Keys gets his number called again, he's going to take the ball almost back to the original line of scrimmage.
And it looks like a flag over there.
And again, it looks like a legal shift against the Falcons. So that illegal shift penalty. Are they going to decline it, or what are we doing here? Because the ball has been moved from its original line of scrimmage. So, okay, here we go. So it should take the ball back to the 38. And it does. So 2nd down and 19. Clock begins to run, 7:42. 3 receiver, Twins left. Ball is snapped. CJ drops back. Pressure. He spins out of it on the right side. Decides to take off. He hits the Jets at the midfield and finally runs out of bounds. And at the 45-yard line, it's going to be close to a Falcons first down, but they still have some yards to go to get it. But the point is they are in crossing territory at the
44-yard line. Mm-hmm. So a good 3rd and 1. So good run.
Yeah, one of his best runs of the night. 3 receivers, Twins left. Ball is snapped. Going to put the ball in the hands of Keys. Keys finds a crease, cuts inside. He's at the 35. He's at the 20. Gets all the way down to the 10-yard line. Anthony Keys continuing to rack up major yards in the second half of this game. This young man has been outstanding. You're going to mark him down at the 11-yard line. Keys has got a second gear, and he's running the second half of this game like a man possessed. On the night, Anthony Keys on the verge of 200. He's got 183 right now.
Keys.
Yeah. Going to work. Anthony Keys dances up in the middle of the field. He's going to take the ball down inside the 10, down to the 6. Anthony Keys has been outstanding in the second half. Another gain of about 5 yards. The best thing about Anthony Keys' run-ins is the way he attacks the clock.
Absolutely.
Take some time off the clock is just as important as another score.
Mm-hmm.
Under 6 to play likely when this ball is snapped. 3 receivers, Twins left. Ball is snapped. Anthony Keys again. Keys dances and then falls down. Loses his balance. If he keeps his balance, he wouldn't be down at the 3.
Oh, and I think they can get a first down without getting a touchdown. So yeah, he would have got a touchdown on that one. But like I say, the clock is still running. They can get a first down.
3rd down and 2. 3 receivers, Twins left. 15 seconds on the play clock. CJ adjusts the call. Causes Carter Ray in motion. There's contact. They bump into each other in the backfield, so that play likely isn't going to be what it needs to be. But when it's all said and done, that should be enough for a Falcon first down. So fly, Falcons, fly.
Nope, they say fourth down.
They say fourth down? Oh, wow. So they're saying he only got a gain of 1?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So fourth down and goal. Well, fourth down and 1 from the 2. So you just need to get 1 yard. Get the first down. And the I formation, Cameron Carter, the deep back, and here comes Crossing. And then CJ is trying to fight ahead. And it looks like, is it going to be enough?
Nope. They're saying that we didn't make it. I'm not sure. That play didn't go the way it was supposed to. I'm not sure CJ was supposed to have that ball.
Right, I don't think so either. You don't have Cameron Carter there, but needless to say, it's going to be turnover on downs as CJ does not get enough. So 1st and 10, ball at their own 2-yard line. So very little breathing space here. So 4:35 to go. 40-27 is the score. All right, trying to get some things organized here. Crossing comes out with 10 seconds on the play clock now, and they're still spreading it out. Single back. Ball is snapped, and this time Baker is trying to get out of the end zone, and he does that, but barely. And as it's said and done, I think
Now here's why our players got to be smart.
So right. No gain on the play.
No gain on the play, but we cannot allow sportsmanlike conduct where they get ejected from the game and they miss the next 2 games. So we have to play smart. There's less than 4 minutes left in this game. Defense plays solid. We walk out here with a win, and you get an opportunity next week against Chandler.
Going to work again. Ball the snap. They're going to swing it outside quickly. Catch is made. Looks like a gain out to the 4-yard line. A gain of 1, maybe 2 yards on the pass play. Looks like they're going to rule him down at the 4. Clock continues to run. 3.5 to go in the game. 40-27. 2 receivers stacked on both sides. Pass going to be caught at the 10-yard line by Cam Parker. And they're going to say it's close to a first down.
Yeah, they gave him a first down on that. I'm not sure how, but okay, they did.
It's the first down at the 12-yard line.
Maybe that was forward progress. It ended.
4 receivers again. 2 sets stacked on either side, going back to work. Baker's going to throw another deep pass here. And coming around and making a catch. Nice way of contorting his body, Drake Manuel. Makes the catch at the 41-yard line. That was right in front of us. That was a nice catch.
That was a juggle catch. But, you know, what they can't see, they can't call. So that's kind of how I say it.
Yeah, that's one thing you've said multiple times tonight, and it's just because of the positioning of the officials when they're making the call. Yeah. 4 receivers, trips left, going to fire to the outside. Pass is going to be caught. And then the pass was not – the receiver had to jump up to make the catch. That is Braden Ayala. And he had to jump up high to make the catch, and he ended up paying the price for it. And it looks like we have an injured Falcon on the field. So it will go down as a loss, back down to the 39-yard line on the catch. I want to take this time to thank all our sponsors for tonight's broadcast. That includes Big O's Pork and Dreams, A-Plus Lawn Care, Chris and Christy Harrison of Heritage Funeral Home, Super Prep and Perry Publishing and Broadcasting Company. It has been one of those nights where you really have to give it up to Crossing overall. They stayed in the fight as long as they could. They did a lot of great things here tonight, but it was one of those type of things. Millwood finally figured out what they needed to do in this game, and they've really turned it on since that point, being very honest about it.
They have. You know, and that's pretty much what it's a tale of two halves, and who makes the best adjustments at halftime. And that's pretty much what you want. A lot of times you don't want to reveal your hand too much in the first half, and then you can't make the adjustments for the second half. So, you know, kudos goes to the Coach Franklin, his coaching staff, in terms of making the necessary adjustments and getting his kids back into the game, and Keys, and as well as the rest of the players. So
4 receivers now. Going to throw the ball deep, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Cam Parker. Cam Parker says, that was even too tall for me on that one. Cam Parker is a tremendous tight end specimen.
Yes.
He's catching football for somebody next year.
and hopefully in a few weeks he's going to be playing some basketball.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, he's towering. He's a big body. He's got really great hands. 3rd down and 12. 2:12 to go in the game. And Bennett Baker's going to fall down and lose his footing. He wanted to run, but he lost his footing, and it will go down as a sack. So Yaquab Johnson with the sack this time.
Yeah, pressure by Cam coming on that blitz, and he stepped right up into that sack. So great defensive, adjustments that they've made. And
no, you're absolutely right. I mean, the great adjustments in the second half, the Falcons have come out with a stout game plan, and after, they scored and got it within 1, the Falcons completely woke up. I mean, they were sitting at lukewarm, and they went Super Saiyan or got red hot in the second half of this game, and they have been a handful to deal with offensively and defensively. Coming up at the conclusion of this game in 2 minutes, at 2 minutes, we will officially get to the Millwood Falcon post-game report. Take a look at the bracket for next week's matchups. 4th down and 14 to go. And it looks like ball is snapped. I'm going to put it to work. Rolling. Baker looking for space. Going to fire the ball deep. He tries, and this time contact was made, but a great play on that 4th down route attempt. Is that Xavier Thompson back there? Xavier Thompson playing free safety and went for the ball at the same time. And Caden Ladle did a great job on that one of defending that play.
Yeah, like I say, because he's been catching everything tonight. And so that definitely is good for senior leadership to come out and be able to try to seal this win.
1:50 to go. And depends on how really you want to look at this, how the Crossing Knights want to deal with this. At this point in time, the Falcons have a big lead, and the Falcons really can't quite kneel it out. A 1st down would definitely do it.
Keys need to get that 200 yards, don't he?
Going to work, trying to get to the outside, and this time, Bryce Morris takes a big shot on the sideline, and he's down for a minute here. So they're going to rule the ball carrier down at the 44-yard line. And a lot of the Falcon faithful that you're hearing on the microphone took a little exception to that last tackle that was done on Bryce. But if you're going to keep running, they tend to let you play a little bit.
Yeah, I think we need to stay north and south on these runs. You know, when you do those runs like that, you actually subject your player to shoulder injuries in terms of that, because they're no longer can be squared up when they're having to get around someone like that. So we matter of fact, the other young man we lost on a shoulder injury like that as well, Kamari Williams. Hopefully he'll be back next week. So you know, you take that risk, but right now
Bryce gets up and he walks off under his own power, so we'll be back to live action. But continue what you were saying, Coach.
Yeah, like I say, they already know we're going to try to run the ball to Keys. Or matter of fact, once you go ahead and get the Deshaun Buford some carries and just continue to keep running the ball. Right now, it's not about, you know, the first down, not, you know, getting a score. It's about literally just getting out of here with a victory and no more injuries. And that's what you really want to be focused on right now.
Right. 3 receiver twins left, 16 seconds on the play clock, and exactly almost parallel a minute out. So you've got 9 seconds on the play clock, 1:09 on the game clock. Carter Ray comes in motion across the formation. This time they get it to Anthony Keys. Keys dances. Keys is breaking it wide open. At the 10, 5, into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Falcons.
North and south. Keys got that 200 yards.
Yeah, he did. There is no
258.
Is that what you're going
That's
for?
what I'm going for, 258.
So Anthony Keys takes it out, takes it in, and the Falcons now lead 46-27. And to see exactly if Coach is right, you said how much?
258.
Yeah, you about 22 high, 236.
236. Wow.
236 yards overall, and now Denver Young will attempt the extra point. And the extra point attempt is no good. It's wide right. So at the end, with 1 minute to go in the second half of this game, it's 46-27. Falcons, this is one of those games that this score does not tell the story of this game. You know, for most people who are listening, it seems like eons ago when it was 22-21. But right there, Crossing was right there.
Yeah, and like I say, that's why you don't look at the box scores to really give a determination. That's why I don't say, oh, we're going to beat them. I mean, because, you know, if you go to the box score, Crossings got beat by Marlowe 31-0. And so here we are where they scored 27 points against us, 46-27. So, you know, if you want to use that as a way to think what you have momentum going in, go ahead, but then you'll be, you know, shocked just like us. You know, hey, 31-0, you know, we should go in. We're the top seed. We should be able to pretty much go in and take care of them. And look what happened. I mean, 21 points in, you know, 21-22, and then all of a sudden now we're 46-27.
Right. It just in a blink in the second half of this game. And that's how quickly this margin of football can change. Because if I had told you Millwood would rattle off that many points, we didn't see that team. We saw that team in terms of explosive with no ground game. And, boy, has that changed massively in the second half.
Yeah.
Anthony Keys got going. And as they say, who's got the keys to my Jeep? Keys was going.
Beat.
I'm just saying.
Yep.
Shout out Dwayne Doolittle. That's his line. I don't.
Yep.
He said, "Who's got the keys to my Jeep?" But going no way. Denver Young going to kick this ball away, and it's going to be caught inside the 10, and it's going to be brought down there at about the returned at the 27-yard line. So as it stands right now, 1st and 10 for Crossing, and likely once this ball is snapped, the clock will not stop anymore. Are they running it now? No, the clock is not officially running now. So Crossing, they're going to keep playing. Ball is snapped, and they're going to put the ball in the hands of Neher.
Senior. Give him an opportunity to go out with his last game.
Going to put the ball for a gain of 2 out to the 29-yard line. And that may be the last play of the game. We'll see here what Coach Stevenson decides to do.
We're pretty much on the way the Gamecock.
Yeah, I mean, they're in sync. So
yeah, pretty much.
So I mean, this will be the final snap, and this time they're going to put the bell in the belly of Neher, and Neher runs all the way out and will get a Crossing first down beyond the 42-yard line, and that will be the last play of the game as he takes it out to the 44. But that's where you want to go if you're a senior. You want to go out still carrying the ball, still fighting to the last play of the game. And the Millwood Falcons are going to advance to the second round of this game with the final score of 46-27. A game that likely didn't look like it was going to happen in this way is going to end up this way. We're going to take our final break of the night. It's going to be a minute break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Millwood Falcon Football, brought to you by SSM Health at St. Anthony, Bank First, and the Millwood Enrichment Foundation.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Let's get back to more Millwood High School football on Heart and Soul 92.1 and 1140.
As we get ready to get out of here, Coach Hayes, I just want to get you a chance. Is there any other scores that you would like to report before we get out of here tonight?
Well, I'm sitting there. Clinton beat Blanchard 21-20, and then Cushing and Ada is tied at 50 with less than a minute left in the fourth quarter.
Tied at 50.
At 50.
Unbelievable. As it goes for tonight, we saw a heck of a game. Going to have to give a lot of kudos overall to what we call overall for the great play of the Crossing Christian Knights.
Yes.
They finished tonight with 140 yards rushing, 298 yards in the passing game tonight. So you're talking about a grand total of 438 yards of offense. And you put up that type of production, you normally win games like this. The Falcons on the other side of the ball put 296 on the ground, 298 in the air for a total of 594 yards in the second half of this game. Anthony Keys, who had 9 yards in the first half of this game, finished the game with 236 and 3. It's just amazing what that young man did. CJ Turnbull had 60 yards and 1. His passing, CJ didn't need to pass any more than he did. He was 11 for 20 for 298, 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. And there was some ugly numbers overall. Xavier Thompson, 7 catches for 198 and 2. Dominic Martin, 1 catch, 80 yards and a touchdown overall. But that is the majority of the positive stat numbers from individually, the team stats. And, when we look at how you pick a player of the game, you know, it's kind of hard to overlook what Anthony Keys did tonight, but I think you probably would agree with me that the definite play overall of Xavier Thompson tonight might be the player of the game.
I would disagree if you didn't say it.
Okay. I mean, I know he didn't have the explosion that Anthony Keys had, but they wouldn't be in the position to overcome the interceptions, overcome the mistakes. Every time this team needed a play in the first half and a guy to keep them in the game, Xavier Thompson was the one who answered the call each time. Maybe that's the wrong way to look at it, but it's the right way to look at it for me.
Well, you know, and a lot of times it's one of those things that you look – it's not always the stuff that's on the stat sheet. It's the stuff that's off the stat sheet. Sometimes you don't see, that you don't notice. I mean, even on defense, he came out on defense and was able to stop that fourth down, pass. I mean, he's just from starting at the beginning of the week, he's just kind of been dialed in. This is his last one, and so he definitely has showed he kept his composure. Because I remember when he was a freshman, y'all called him the damper and the daisy.
The diaper dam.
I mean, and he was. He was hot-headed. He needed a lot to be able to get him to mature, and he's matured into a good young man. And I'm proud to say that about where he's come in his career and just in who he is. And so he reflected what a leader should do. And I mean, he didn't. If you notice his composure coming off the field. He didn't have his hands up. He didn't throw his helmet down. I mean, he said, all right, we just kind of got himself together, came back out, made some exceptional plays when needed to be, and that's what you want in a player of the game.
Right. So as it stands tonight, the Falcons will advance to the second round of the playoffs after successfully defeating the Crossing Christian Knights by the score of 46-27. You heard Coach Hayes mention it earlier. They will advance to take on the Chandler Lions, correct?
Mm-hmm, correct.
Chandler Lions next week, but that game will be here. You can tune in. Pregame at 6:30, kickoff at 7 o'clock. It's going to be a tremendous game. The other matchup on the other side of the bracket, the winner of Millwood and Chandler will take on the winner of Kingston and Marlow. Marlow rallied late to go ahead and win that game. So in class, the other side of the bracket, we have got Washington taking on Kiefer. Many of the Kiefer Trojan fans will believe that they should have been there last year to take on Washington. Well, now you get your shot.
You get your chance.
You get your chance to take on the defending champs, while you got Metro Christian taking on Jones on the other side of that bracket. So it's going to be entertaining football as we get closer down. And remember, championship week is the first week in December, and if it is, make your reservation, Millwood Falcon fans. That game will be at 1 o'clock
on Friday.
On a Friday at UCO. So that's where that game will be played. Of course, the Falcons got a lot of work to get there, but as everybody says, well, when will it be? I need to make my transitions. Before we get out of here, I just want to say how outstanding the quarterback, Bennett Baker, was for Crossing tonight. That young man played every snap and put his team in a position to win. Somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose. But when you see a warrior like that, you want him on your team. You really want their season to continue. Between him and I got to give a lot of love also to Caden Liesel, because that young man made so many plays tonight. It was just amazing. But the Falcons win. Your player of the game, Xavier Thompson, 7 catches, 198. Would have been nice if he got the 200, but that's all right. He got the 200 in our hearts, all right? We'll let those stats stand. We're going to get out of here one tonight. We want to thank all our sponsors. The Big O's Pork and James player of the game was Xavier Thompson. A-Plus Lawn Care, Chris and Christy Harrison of Heritage Funeral Home, Super Prep and Perry Publishing and Broadcasting Company. Want to thank D. Wright for producing us in studio, Taz on the camera here, and also Langston producing, SSM Health at St. Anthony, Millwood and Richmond Foundation and Bank First. And I want to thank my partner tonight, Director of Operations, A. Shannon Hayes, for being with us tonight. I'm Maurice Prince. Want to say congratulations, Fly Falcons.